Okay. Nampak tak screen sharing saya?
Nampak.
Nampak.
Okay. Lama dah tak guna Zoom ni, tu yang saya nak find a way around dulu. Dah biasa guna Webex kan? Kejap. Alright. Okay. Okay, so seperti yang telah diperkenalkan tadi, saya tak perlulah saya nak perkenalkan diri. Tapi panggil saya Dr. Nas je lah, tak perlu panjang-panjang. Okay. Normally siapa yang kenal saya panggil saya Nas atau Dr. Nas sajalah. Okay, so saya tengok di senarai peserta pun ramai insyaAllah yang saya kenal. So welcome to this workshop. Okay, before that, do we have international lecturer or participants here?
Yes.
Oh, yes? Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, thank you for the information. So it means that I have to try to conduct the session in English, but perhaps at some points a bit of mix lah, with the Malay language. Is that okay, Doctor?
Yes, okay.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Okay, so as I told you just now, the topic or the title for today's workshop is developing a teaching portfolio, and we will be focusing on how we want to come up with case narratives and evidences. All right, so basically at the end of this workshop, okay, all the participants should be able to demonstrate an understanding, of the processes, okay, as well as the components of a well-designed reflective teaching portfolio, okay. And then during the second part of today's workshop, we will look at how we can actually design or come up with some samples of evidences, okay, so that we can integrate that into our teaching portfolio. Okay, so to make our teaching portfolio more interesting, and interactive. All right. Okay, so this will be the workshop contents. Okay, so first I will start with some introduction of what reflective teaching portfolio is for higher education educators. And then we will go through some of the processes and components, that involve in preparing case narratives and evidences for a teaching portfolio. And finally, we will look at some examples, some examples of interactive teaching portfolio that has been prepared either using UUM, ePortfolio, or other online platforms. Okay, all right. So for the we call it as a start, okay. Can we have some interactive activity? Okay, perhaps if you can go to your browser, okay, go to www.menti.com, okay, and then enter the code 666-12168, and then please describe yourself as an educator in 3 words. 3 words mean 3 different words, not 3 words in a sentence, but 3 different words. Okay, can we do that? Okay, just go to www.menti.com. Okay, and then enter the code. Okay, can you go into the Mentimeter with the code? Yes or no? Do you have any problem with that?
Yes, we can access, Doctor.
All right. Okay. I'll give you like 30 seconds. Okay, this is just for the induction or what we call ice breaking. Okay, and during the workshop, at any time, if you have any questions or you want to give feedback or commenter or whatever, okay, just interrupt me, yeah? It's okay. Okay, so we have about 100 participants, so hopefully we can have all of you to join the Mentimeter so we can see how the words evolves, yeah, from your response. Okay, we only have like 16 participants so far. Okay, I don't want to show it. Just give your own words. Okay, out of 100 participants, only 16 participate in the Mentimeter. So the rest, please. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have like 26 participants already logged into the mentimeter.com, and it's still someone still giving feedback here. Okay, so we can see that yeah, okay. Okay, so we can see here the bigger word so far, yeah, because we still have maybe some of you still want to participate. Okay, so the biggest word so far is facilitator. Wow, interesting. Okay. Admin, who give that? Okay. What else? Okay, so I think that's enough for now. Okay, but if you want to still contribute or take part in this session, that's okay. Okay, but we can see here that the biggest word that appear from this session is facilitator. So most of us, okay, today describe ourselves as a facilitator. Okay, so we are the facilitator of learning. Okay, and then other than that, most of you also talk about you as a teacher. Yeah, definitely we are the educator or the teacher. Okay, and that's part of our role, yeah, as the lecturer or academicians to teach, okay, and to facilitate students learning. Okay, and then we also have approachable. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so it means that as a teacher, as an educator, we must be approachable. Okay, and I can see other words here like dedicated, passionate, okay, mentor, caring, yeah, understanding, and so much more. Okay, but actually because this is a word cloud, yeah, so I think everybody familiar with the use of word cloud by now, okay, since we are in the COVID-19 pandemic and we have been doing remote learning, okay, for almost 2 years. I believe that many of us has been integrating this kind of activity using Mentimeter or other Web 2.0 tools, okay, to get quick feedback or responses from our students. So those are kind of facilitating tools that we can use. And it is also tools that we can use to approach our students, yeah, in a different ways, right? Okay, and then it's also something to show that we are trying to make the teaching and learning fun. Here we have the word fun, happy, creative, inspiring, and so on. Okay, so thank you so much for this 3 words that describe yourself as an educator, and I can see that all are very positive, okay, and all are showing that we are all very passionate educators, and that's why we are here today, okay, to come up with a good or a better teaching portfolio so that we can share it with other educators communities of practice. All right. Okay, other than that, of course, we have like a few words here like busy, strict. Okay, and then lazy. Siapa yang lazy ni? Okay, and then but that's fine, okay. All of us have a different story to tell, okay, and all of us have a different ways of conducting our teaching and learning practice, right? Okay, so from that activity, actually, it's just a bit of introduction, okay, to show that in our teaching portfolio, we can actually have all those interesting words, or terms or keywords, okay, to be integrated in our teaching portfolio, because our teaching portfolio is actually our professional identity, okay, and it is actually our academic footprint, okay, to tell people who we are. And definitely our teaching portfolio is the reflection of who we are. So if, for example, just now we said that we are a passionate educator, so in the teaching portfolio later, we should be able to see how passionate we are, what kind of things or what kind of area that we are passionate in, okay? And if we are talking about approachable, okay, just now, okay, so in what sense that we are approachable, how we conduct our teaching and learning strategies to make it more approachable, and so on, okay? And basically, okay, teaching portfolio is a documented statement, of our teaching philosophy, okay, our responsibilities, our goals, and also our accomplishment. And all this can be compiled, can be showcased, in the teaching portfolio. And it is a flexible document. It's not a rigid document. It's not a document that we just do it once and then forget about it. No, it's a flexible document because we can use it in a number of ways, but it depends on the needs and interests of the faculty members. Okay, for example, today, I believe that some of you might be coming here because you want to prepare a teaching portfolio for DTA, for example, the Distinguished Teaching Award. Or some of you might just join this session because you want to improve your teaching portfolio to achieve the university's KPI as well as your own KPI, regarding the use of teaching portfolio. Okay, so we have a different mission, we have a different goals of what we want to do with our teaching portfolio. Okay, and we will have a look at it a bit later on how we can prepare teaching portfolio to serve both purposes. All right. Okay, so basically the teaching portfolio also a medium, okay, for us to showcase our best teaching and learning practices. Because just now, okay, if we can recall back from the word clouds, okay, some of us say about innovation, innovative, creativity, so all those are the teachers or educators' best practices. And we hope that through the teaching portfolio, we can actually share with other teachers, with other lecturers, with other educators, communities of practice on how we can actually use that or take it as an example. Okay, all right. Okay, so next, let's have a quick look on the processes. Yeah, these are the processes that involves when we are creating a teaching portfolio. So first, select. Okay, select. It means that teaching portfolio is a selective process. It's not that we want to put everything in the teaching portfolio. Yeah. So we need to select the materials or the contents, okay, that we want to showcase to our audiences. And as I said just now, it is really depends on the purpose of the teaching portfolio that we are developing. So if it's for the DTA, for example, or for the AAN, for example, so definitely we have to have a more, creative, innovative contents, okay? But if it's just for the university's KPI or for the teaching portfolio KPI, then it might be enough to just showcase what is needed, yeah, based on the requirements of that KPI. Okay, and itself meaning that when we select the materials or whatever contents that we want to showcase in the teaching portfolio, we have to look at the purpose, who are the audience that will be looking at our contents, okay, and as well as the contents that we want to put in the e-portfolio. Okay, next is reflect. Okay, this is a very important part of teaching portfolio. Okay, as I said just now, it's not about putting everything in the teaching portfolio. Okay, some people might think teaching portfolio as a resume, as a CV. Yes, it is at some point, but it is more detailed. It is more in depth actually. All right. Okay. So again, we have to connect and relate, yeah, our statements, our materials, our contents, yeah, or the narratives with the evidence. And here we need to be reflective. What it means by reflective is we don't just put whatever we have in the teaching portfolio, but we have to describe, okay, as well as to talk about the processes that involve. Okay, we have to have some kind of evaluation, okay, on the activities or on the teaching and learning strategies that we conduct. Okay, it's not just listing or putting everything, but we have to tell a story in a way that in a reflective manner. Okay, it's not just involve describing, but it also involve justification, justifying on the activities, on the teaching and learning approaches or methods that we apply. Okay, as well as we need to have some kind of evaluation on the processes and the activities, because we want at the end of it we can reflect on what can be done better in the future. All right. Okay. And then finally, okay, publish. Publish mean we share it. Yeah, we share it with. It's just like what we are doing currently. Okay, with the teaching portfolio, the UUM teaching portfolio. When we publish, means we have to share it with our dean, right? For to get the verification. But that's the only. That's the one examples of publishing. Okay, for specific audience. But if we look at teaching portfolio as a bigger process, actually we should publish it to the network or to the wider community, okay, to the wider audience, because we want to share the best practices that we have done in our teaching and learning with others. It's not just for us to keep, okay, but we want to share it with others so that people can take it as an example and they can actually perhaps they want to replicate or they want to use our strategies, our techniques, yeah, as an examples or as a guidance, yeah, for their own practice. Okay, so that's where the showcase happens. And even though this involves three process, select, reflect, and publish, but if you look at the figure, it's a what we call it cyclical, cyclical process, meaning that at any points we can always go back. Okay, we can always add on our contents. We can always select new materials. Okay, and then we can always update the reflections of the materials, and then we can keep publishing. Yeah. For example, I'm giving examples on what we are currently doing. Okay, so we publish like for now by semester, right? For our courses, we publish it by semester. Okay, so we have a due dates for every semester. So we have to do that, yeah, for our courses. Okay, so it's a spiral process. Okay, and then how to publish or showcase our teaching portfolio. Okay. Okay, so these are the examples on how we can actually publish or showcase our teaching portfolio. Okay, here we have one examples, the conventional way, which is the printed teaching portfolio. Okay, so this is the one that I prepared using Microsoft Word. Okay, so if you can see here, perhaps I can zoom in. Okay. It has about 60 pages, just 60 pages. Okay, this is the one that I submit for the DTA last time back in 2018. Okay, so we can have it in a printed document. Okay, or we can have it in an electronic format. Okay. So this teaching portfolio, okay, Alhamdulillah, I submit for DTA last time, 2018, and I managed to get that Distinguished Teaching Award, okay, for that year. So it means that I am responsible, or I'm due, okay, to prepare another teaching portfolio for the AAN actually. Okay, so it is our kind of like, when we get the DTA for the university, we are candidates. Yeah, we are candidates for their AAN, Anugerah Akademi Negara. So that's the responsibility that I'm carrying now. Okay, to actually prepare the teaching portfolio for that. But still in the process, hopefully I can manage to come up with it and try to submit this year, inshallah. Okay, and then actually we can have interactive version. Okay, even though we prepared a hard copy, okay, this one, the hard copy, okay, but we can have it interactive version, meaning that in that e-portfolio, we can have some kind of interactive elements such as immersive technology, like we can have QR code, we can have QR readers, when we scan on it, it overlays videos or images or something, or it can bring us to the web links and so on. Okay. All right. So if can I see in the chat, is there anyone here that plan to apply for DTA? Can you please type in one at the chat? Ada tak yang berhasrat insyaAllah nak hantar ataupun nak join untuk DTA for this year? Can you put it in the chat? Just type in one. Ada tak? Come on, come on. We are looking for candidates for DTA. Tak ada? Alamak. Tak ada, tak payah share lah. Okay. Oh, we have Not qualified enough, insyaAllah boleh. For me, maybe not. Still working on the Mahara. Okay. Yang lain ada tak? Okay. Nak tengok ni semangat je. How many from us today that plan to apply for the DTA? So we can provide more facilitation and guidance on how to prepare the teaching portfolio. Okay. All right. Okay, because if you are just focusing on the Mahara for the KPI, I think but this is still good. I mean, it's a good start. Yeah, it's a good start where we can actually develop our evidences. Okay, and from that evidences, we can put it into the teaching portfolio. Okay, and inshallah, we try to submit for the DTA. Okay. All right. So don't worry. It's still time. Okay. Tarikh tutup 31 Mac. Betul UTLC? Puan Fadlina ada ke hari ni? Tarikh tutup 31 Mac. Bukan bermaksud hantar portfolio lagi 31 Mac ni. Hantar nama dulu.
Untuk pencalonan dulu.
Yes, untuk pencalonan sahaja dahulu. Okay. So just calonkan diri. InsyaAllah tak apa, calon diri sendiri pun tak ada masalah. Okay, calonkan diri ataupun calonkan rakan-rakan, okay, untuk menyertai anugerah ini, dan insyaAllah nanti pihak UTLC akan beri kursus-kursus sokongan lah untuk calon-calon DTA on how to come out with a good teaching portfolio, and then developing and polishing the teaching portfolio, as well as to improve the teaching portfolio from time to time. And inshallah, last year I was one of the reviewer for the pre-evaluation of the teaching portfolio. So I've seen a few teaching portfolio, and from there perhaps I can give some examples on how we can actually improve the teaching portfolio. Okay, so jangan lupa tarikh tutup 31 Mac. Ni tolong promote ni untuk DTA. InsyaAllah. Okay. Boleh insyaAllah. Okay, we have questions at the chat. So we have our own e-portfolio account or web page. Is it possible to have the electronic version teaching portfolio directly from the e-portfolio itself? Okay, something like a print option or convert with one click. Okay, to answer this question, first, if you want to apply for the DTA, yes, you have to submit the print option like this, the booklet like this. Okay, but it can be in the PDF format or first, yeah. And then if we use the teaching portfolio in our UUM e-portfolio, if I'm not mistaken, we can actually convert it into PDF format. We can convert, yeah, meaning that the pages that we create in the e-portfolio can be converted into PDF format. So later we can compile it and become a booklet of teaching portfolio. It's just that perhaps you want to consider on the setting or the layout of the printed version. If it's print directly from the e-portfolio, UUM portfolio. Okay, I hope that answer you, Dr. Wadi. Is that okay? Okay, all right. So if you plan to go for DTA, it is advisable to prepare the booklet one, yeah, like this one. Okay, but definitely you can always work concurrently. Okay, once you update into your e-portfolio, put it in your booklet. Perhaps that you create using Microsoft Word or other editor. Okay. Okay, later I will show some example of it. Okay, so this is the electronic teaching portfolio. okay, that we are currently using, and I'm sure that everybody still working very hard to complete the teaching portfolio for the last semester. Saya pun masih belum siap lagi untuk yang PG, okay. Alright, don't worry, we still have time. Okay, so based on that examples, okay, actually this is going back to the topic or to the title of today's workshop about reflective narrative. Okay, so what it means by reflective narratives in a teaching portfolio is actually how we tell a story, but in a professional way, okay, about our educators' journey. Okay, so normally in our teaching portfolio, it will reflect, yeah, it will reflect who we are as an educator. Kan, bila kita baca the teaching portfolio tu, kita boleh dapat gambaran of who or what types of educator, okay, whether they are passionate, creative, approachable, okay, those that you are giving from at the beginning of today's workshop. Okay, so that's what we want to see in the teaching portfolio. And then we can get some ideas of what we are teaching. Okay, so normally we will have some examples, some evidence of the subjects that we are teaching. Okay, and then what is our belief about teaching and learning? This is more on the philosophy. Okay, our belief, how we see teaching and learning. Is it just about imparting knowledge, or is it about facilitating learning? Okay, like what we have just now. Okay, or is it about having lots of fun, but at the same time learning happens? Okay, so different people have a different belief and a different philosophy of teaching and learning. So that's are the things that we want to tell, or that's are the things that we want to put in the teaching portfolio. Okay, and then how we teach. So normally it involves the strategies, the methods, the assessment techniques, okay, that we apply in our teaching and learning. Okay, and then from time to time we will talk about how we improve our teaching and learning. So this is where the reflections come. Okay, mostly the reflection will be somewhere here when we talk about how we want to improve the teaching and learning. Okay, and then we can also have in our teaching portfolio the accomplishment, yeah, that we have achieved. Okay, perhaps from the teaching and learning itself, from the classrooms itself, or the accomplishment from the research related to teaching and learning. Okay, or accomplishment related to the innovation that we apply in the teaching and learning. Okay, so biasa kan kita tengok sekarang ni ramai rakan-rakan pensyarah join innovation competition based on the classroom practice. Okay, so that's kind of accomplishment that we can share in the teaching portfolio. Okay, and then how we contribute to the development of teaching and learning in our institution and society. So this one normally relate to our professional development, as well as how we become a facilitator, or perhaps like what I did today. Okay, this is like my contributions, inshallah, yeah, to the development of teaching and learning. So I'm sharing with all of you what I have experienced in the previous DTA session, what I did in that teaching portfolio, and hopefully, okay, it will contribute, yeah, to the development of teaching and learning in our university and society. So we can have that kind of story, but we have to put in a narrative ways, yeah, in a professional ways, and definitely we have to convince with evidences. Okay, so that's the word evidences come. Okay, so we have a narratives, and then we have to convince with evidence. dia macam kita bercerita tapi kena ada bukti lah. Macam tu. It's not just about telling. Okay, we can tell that, okay, I do this, this and this in my teaching, but how you do it? Okay, and then what are the evidences that you are doing that? Okay, so that's the overall narratives of the teaching portfolio. Okay, any questions so far? All good? Boleh follow ke? Okay, alright. Okay, can we have any sample of e-portfolio? Alright, okay, Dr. Saha asked about sample of e-portfolio. Okay, inshallah I will show some examples or some samples on the how we can actually create the narratives and also put evidence in the e-portfolio. Okay. All right. Oops. Hold on. Okay. Okay. So when we talk about evidences, okay, when we talk about evidences, there are various types of evidences that we can include in our teaching portfolio. Okay, and I think all of you would agree with this, and I think all of you have all of these things. Okay, so don't worry about it. So kalau kata tak sedia tu, insyaAllah boleh. Banyak ni, evidence saya rasa sangat banyak. Cuma macam mana kita nak susun, macam mana kita nak compile kan, that's yang selalunya menjadi like macam I need more times to do that. Okay, alright. Okay, so basically there are various types of digital evidences that we can include in our teaching portfolio. It can be images, figures or charts, or perhaps we have video clips. Okay, and I think now it should be like no problems because all of us are conducting online learning. So we have lots of video clips to show. Perhaps some part of our recordings from the lecture or from the activities that we conduct with our students. Okay, we can also have infographics. Okay, infographics to tell about the flow of the classroom sessions, or infographic to show about the activities that we have conducted with our students, and so on. Okay, and then perhaps we have the evidence in our social media, okay, in our Facebook posts, okay, or in our blog posts. Okay, that's also can be part of the evidences, yeah, for our teaching portfolio. And links, okay, definitely we can have links to a website, to YouTube video, or to anything, all right? Or we can have a QR code, okay, QR code where we can scan, and then the information will appear on top of the printed documents, for example. Okay, and then we can have photo collages, or where we compile pictures, yeah, in a photo collage to tell about one particular event. Okay, or we can have a screenshots, okay, of our classroom, of our sessions, of our activities, yeah, of our students' works, and so on. But we have to be very selective. Okay, remember, selective. Not everything to be put in the teaching portfolio. Okay, we have to consider as well our students' privacy, okay, or the informations that shouldn't be shared to public. Okay, so we have to be selective. Not all information have to be put into the teaching portfolio. Okay, so this is the important components when we have evidences, or when we have things to showcase in our teaching portfolio. So we have to have some kind of reflections on the evidences. Okay, meaning that don't let the evidences to speak by themselves. Apa maksud dia? Okay, contohlah, I'm giving you examples. Okay, for example, from the previous submissions of teaching portfolio, we can see some participants like they put all the certificates, you know, macam lampiran lah, lampiran, attachment, all the certificates of trainings that he or she has attended. Okay, no, we are not applying for new job. Okay, so we don't have to put all the certificates as an attachment in our teaching portfolio, but we can be selective. Okay, we can have a list of what are the training or professional development that we have attended, and then we can select a few, okay, and talk about it in a more detail. So you can have pictures, you can have evidence, yeah, of you attending the program or you as the facilitator or something like that. Okay, so that's where the reflection should be in the teaching portfolio. Okay, so these are the things that can be improved. Okay, for those who are applying for DTA, please try to improve this one. Okay, don't just put or, you know, like letak semua kan. Okay, but we have to be selective and try to reflect on certain elements within the teaching portfolio. Okay. Okay, next, how to organize our reflective narratives. Okay, so reflective narratives can be chronologically or categorically. Okay, so I think these are the two common ways, yeah, to organize our thought or to organize our stories. Okay, chronologically, okay, by year, by, you know, when which one with the by latest events. Okay, how you want to sort it, that depends to you. Or categorically, okay, for example, by courses or by innovation types, okay, or by what? Okay, for example, in your teaching and learning, you have applied problem-based learning. So when you talk about problem-based learning, perhaps your problem-based learning occurs in several courses. So you can organize your narratives into that category of the innovations that you apply in your teaching and learning. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is another, okay, just to show some examples of digital evidences. Okay, where we can have, like, for example, evidences from YouTube. Okay, perhaps we have our own channels. Okay, we have a YouTube channels where we have some what we call it, teaching and learning materials that we put into our YouTube channel. So we can have that as evidence as well. Okay, or we have, okay, before that, okay, for example here, link to a teaching and learning activities in Padlet, for example, or in other Web 2.0 tools that we use for our teaching and learning. So we can have link to that site or to the activities in our teaching portfolio. Okay. Maybe some of you are whether do we need to print out all the evidences from the website or so on. I don't think so. Okay, we can just create link. To the website. Okay, and that's where the hard copy version will be more interactive, where you have link or you have QR code in it, so that when the evaluator look at it, they can like, okay, click on it or scan the QR code and it will bring to another page. So you don't really need a very thick teaching portfolio. All right. Okay. Oh, before that, okay, later after this session, I will share with you the slides from this session.
Dia macam bila off engine kan, bila engine termati dia ada bunyi put, dia ada bunyi macam tu. Kadang-kadang dia jadi.
Ya, ya. Cik, siapa ni? Dr. Azril. Tolong mute, doktor. Okay. Terkejut saya kan tanya apa kan. Alright. Okay.
Sorry.
Tak apa. Okay. At least saya dengar juga suara kan. Kalau tak senyap macam kan. Okay. Alright. So later after this session, I will share with you at the end of this session. I will share with you the link for today's slide. So if you want to have a look at it again later, but this slide is prepared using Genially. So it has some kind of interactive elements. So please be aware of this icon here. Okay. So if you have this icon, okay, just click on it. So it will show you where in the slide that it has interactive components or interactive part that we can click and it will bring us to somewhere else. Okay. All right. So something like this. Yeah. So just now I show this one and this one bring to the YouTube. Okay. So this is another example. Okay. About the one that I mentioned just now, creating photo collage. Yeah, photo collage means that we compile the evidences, put it in one poster like, okay, so just one page for one event. So it's easier for us to compile it into our teaching portfolio, rather than if we like insert all the pictures, okay, in the Microsoft Word, where you will have like difficulties to arrange the photos later when you have massive documents. Okay, so it's better, okay, perhaps you want to start from now, or if you already done this, that very good. Okay, so on every event that you attended, or on every occasions, every practices that you think that you want to share, create one page of poster like this, okay, and have some description about it. So this is an example of the training. Okay, this is kind of like the contributions. Okay, contributions. Okay, so this is about training of learning in collaboration. So I have my name there as an evidence that I'm taking part in this program and as the facilitator. Okay, so that's kind of like giving value as well as tell a story about the pictures, rather than just put the pictures and then it's going to be like troublesome for us to arrange it later. Okay. All right. Okay. Other than that, okay, this is from the WhatsApp group. Perhaps you need it, perhaps you don't. Okay, it's really up to you. Okay, sometimes we just get like very short response or feedback from our colleagues, okay, after the session that we conducted or whatever activities that we have. So if you need it, you can have that in your testimonial part of the teaching portfolio. Okay, for example, this one related to the professional development, training, and so on. Okay, so this can be example of testimonial. Or if we have more formal testimonial, that's also fine. For example, currently or nowadays, after each training, normally we will have like a survey sent to the participants, and we will get the input or response from the surveys. Okay, so we can also have that and put it in our teaching portfolio where necessary. Yeah, where necessary. Kita tengoklah kesesuaian dia, dekat mana yang kita nak letak tu. Okay, we have to relate it with the content or with the sections in our teaching portfolio. Okay, these are just ideas of tools that we can use for creating infographic and photo collages. Okay, so I would really recommend Canva. Okay, Canva. to prepare so many things, okay, that we can use as an evidence in our teaching portfolio. Okay, and then we can also have a Genially, or the most basic, we can just do it in our Microsoft Word or Microsoft PowerPoint. So actually, it's not really demanding. Okay, if some might say like, oh, I'm not really IT people, not really into IT things. Well, we can do it very easy using Microsoft Word. So don't worry about it. Just that we have to kind of like a bit of organize. Okay, okay. I'm not that organized as well. Sometimes I have so many things, but still I can't put it into my teaching portfolio. Okay, so this is sharing, and I hope that by this sharing I also do it. Okay, you know, when I talk about this, then I will like, oh, okay, I haven't done that, so I should do this. Okay, so this is sharing. Okay, all right. Any questions so far? Okay, Syuhaida dah share apa e-portfolio ni. Siapa punya e-portfolio ni? Is that mine? Ha ha ha.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, ya.
Nak tanya boleh tak?
Ya, ya.
Apa ni? Should I speak English? I speak English lah ya, sebab ada international staff kat sini kan.
Yes, please.
I just have a quick question regarding how to insert all of the digital evidences that you have mentioned. Sometimes I also encounter the teaching portfolio cannot have big data, big file. There's some like a limited file size.
Yes.
Especially if you want to put pictures or picture collage. Sometimes even the picture itself quite big. So how do you suggest that we can go about it? And then because obviously if we have a lot of attachment in one page, it will look better, nicer, people to look at. But let's say the teaching portfolio website cannot accept big file sizes when we want to create our website, web page, sorry. Yes. So we have to insert a lot of links, like Google Drive links. So all of that external links, but then it's going to look very dull, in my own opinion, because obviously you want to save space. So how do you go about it? How do you suggest that we can try to improve that? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Siapa ni? Dr. Safwa.
Pergi Wawa aja.
Wawa, okay. Thank you, Wawa, for the questions. Yes, that's a very important questions, and I also have problem with that. Because yesterday when I want to update my e-portfolio, it come like a notification, oh, you almost reached the 50 megabyte storage allocation for the e-portfolio. So perhaps UTLC can have a look at it on giving more space to the lecturers for the e-portfolio, the e-portfolio, okay, so that we can have more interactive elements and pictures in our teaching portfolio. Okay, so that's one thing on the storage. Okay, another thing, yes, definitely, as for now, because we have that issue, so we have to play around with the evidences that we want to showcase in the e-portfolio. So as I said just now, be selective. Okay, be selective. Not everything that we want to put in our e-portfolio or teaching portfolio. So perhaps in one page of the e-portfolio, we can have like 1 or 2 pictures, and then the rest we put link. Okay, if you want to have that. Okay, so that's what I'm doing currently. Because I understand if we put all the pictures, all the images, then it's gonna take up the storage of the e-portfolio platform. Okay, and then another thing is to try to reduce the file size. Okay, try to reduce the file size. And then, okay, reducing file size, for example, use PDF file instead of if you upload the Microsoft file documents. Okay, or if you use graphics, use smaller resolution, use JPEG rather than PNG file. Okay, so normally it will help a bit there. Okay, and then another thing is like doing that photo collages. Okay, if we put, we have created the photo collage. Okay, so meaning that we have combined like several images, several pictures in one picture. So when we save it, okay, we will only have one file, and we can reduce the size of the file rather than we upload 5 separate images. Okay, so that's another trick. Okay,
Thank you.
is that okay?
Thank you so
Alright.
much.
But later I will show you in the e-portfolio how we can actually embed link, but it is interactive link. It's not just the link that show the URL where you can click and it will bring you to the website. But we can actually have embed code. So it will appear on it, but it's not actually stored in the platform. It's not really stored in the platform. Okay, it's just the embed code, and when you click it, it will bring you to the other website. Okay, and we can use Canva very easily. Okay, I will show that in the second part, inshallah.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. Yes, you lecturer also face the same problem. The capacity of Mahara system is limited. Yes, I think it's about 50 megabyte. So there's an email here from Suhaida. Okay, so everybody, you can email to Dr. Izwan, Director of UTLC, to get more storage. Okay. Yes, I suggest increase request to be applied to all. Yeah. I think we can.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, ya.
Hadi
Yes,
from
Cik
SMP.
Adi. Yes.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, is there any guideline, okay, for the component on each of the pages inside our e-portfolio? I mean,
Okay.
what is the component? Because if I'm not mistaken, our e-portfolio will be evaluated, okay, by our dean. So, what is the rubric? So, how do we can achieve the full mark, okay, for this e-portfolio? Is there any guideline, guideline that each lecturer should has the component in his or her e-portfolio? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Adi, for the questions. Okay, regarding the rubric for evaluation of e-portfolio, I think this one referring to the e-portfolio, e-portfolio that we submitted to the dean, right, at the end of the semester, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm sorry to say, I'm not sure if there is any guided rubric as for now, but I think there's no specific rubric. Okay, but I think as for now, it's still flexible. Okay, so we just prepared the 4 pages of each for the courses. Okay, so we have the overall strategy, right, for the course. Okay, and then what's the innovations that we apply in the course. Okay, and then we have the testimonial or CQI. I think 3 or 4. Okay, just we need that 4 pages. Okay, but later I can show you some example, but I'm not saying that my example is based on a rubric. Okay, just examples on what we can actually put in our teaching portfolio. Okay, so I think don't worry so much about the rubric, because as for now we don't really have specific rubric for each pages. Okay, as long as we have some contents to show about our teaching and learning for that particular course. So normally the first page will have like a synopsis about the course, and then the overall implementation of the course. What are the methodologies that we apply and so on. And then the second page, then we go more deep, like what are the innovations, examples of innovations that we apply for that particular course. Okay, and then followed by the testimonial and evaluation. Okay, I hope that answer you, Mr. Adi.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for the feedback or the answer. So what do I understand here is okay, for this time being, you just need to submit it to your dean. And then in your e-portfolio, you need to have all the pages, the 1, 6, and your subjects.
Yes.
And then whatever inside the 4 pages is up to you. Okay.
Yes.
As long there is information inside the pages. Is it correct?
Yes. As for now, yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Maybe UTLC can correct me if I'm wrong, if there's any rubric. But I think as for now, tak ada lagi lah. Okay, so it's up to the dean lah to verify. The dean will go through the link that we provide, okay, for that particular course. And then if he or she satisfied with the information, then the dean will verify. Okay, so the verification will go, the data will go to the UTLC for the UTLC to capture regarding the implementation of teaching portfolio. That's for now. That's for the current practice. Okay. Yes, tak ada rubrik lagi. Setakat ini untuk dekan verified e-portfolio. So it's still flexible lah. So buat je lah dulu macam mana pun kan. But it's good to have a good practice lah. Maksudnya put reflective narratives in our teaching portfolio. Give some examples that people when look at it can take it as examples of good practices. Okay, cuma sekarang ni kalau kita submit ke dean seorang lah kan yang boleh tengok. Mungkin orang lain tak tengok lagi. Okay, so this is another example. Okay, because in today's session, okay, in my session today, I'm not just talking about e-portfolio as in the UUM e-portfolio. Okay, so perhaps you can see like, this is like way too much. Okay, but because in today's session, I also covered things that need to be put in the teaching portfolio for those who want to go for DTA. Okay, so it's two different purposes. The e-portfolio is just for the KPI. Okay, at this point of time. Okay, and then we have another teaching portfolio that we can also submit for DTA. Okay, so when we want to submit the teaching portfolio for DTA, that's where we need more case narratives and evidences. All right. Okay, so this is another examples of evidences for the testimonials part. Okay, because this example I took from the previous teaching portfolio that I submit for DTA back in 2018. So at that time, we still have face-to-face meetings, and if I'm not mistaken, this is like mobility students from China. So before they end the session, before they go back to their home country, they kind of like have this letters, you know, like giving to me. I never get this kind of letters before, okay, but with these students, they really give us like very personalized notes. And I think we have some kind of information that we can take from that notes to improve our teaching and learning. So that can be part of our testimonial. So if the evidence is non-digital evidence, we can scan or snap photos and store it properly. Okay, I'm not sure whether this letter is still in my office now, but luckily I have captured the images. So yeah, I can use it again. Okay, other than that, online tools make it easier. Okay, so as I said just now, currently we can like utilize all the online tools that we use, okay, with our students. Like for example here, this is like the student work, okay, the video that they created, okay, for this particular course, audio and video development in education. So in one of the assignment, they have to come up with a video, instructional or educational video, and then they have to upload it into YouTube. So when we prepare the printed teaching portfolio, you can put the video in the teaching portfolio, right? But you can have a link to that video. So how we're going to do it? We can either put the link, okay, or we can have this kind of QR code. Perhaps you want to try this QR code whether it's still working or not, I'm not sure. Because this is like 2018, I created this document, and hopefully the YouTube still there. Okay, my student haven't retrieved it. Okay, perhaps you want to try. Okay, so you can take your smartphone and try to scan this QR code. It will bring to a YouTube video.
Yeah,
Okay,
it works. It works.
It works, yeah. So this is an example of putting evidence by not putting lots of storage, you know. So it can work both ways lah. If it's printed, then we can have a link or we can have a QR code. And if it's online, we can still have QR code, or we can just have a link, or we can have the embed code. Okay. Some might say that embed code's a bit technical. Perhaps yes, perhaps not. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Because some website, they already provide the embed code. You just copy it. It's like copying the link and then just put it there. Okay, so it's very easy, inshallah. Okay. Okay, and then this is another examples that we can have a link to our activities in Web 2.0 tools, Flipgrid or Padlet or whatever tools that we are using. It's just that if you want to show it, then you have to make it public, right? If you want to share, then you have to make it public. If you put it private, then orang tak boleh tengok lah kan. People can't access. Okay, so there are some settings in the particular applications that we have to make it public, or we can have it like everybody with this link can view, something like that. So we have to go a bit detailed in that particular applications that we use. Okay, but as I said, we are not going to show everything. Okay, so if you don't want to have a direct link, you can have a screenshot. Okay, because evaluator pun kadang tak ada masa lah nak pergi tengok satu-satu, bukan dia nak tengok video ni seorang-seorang kan, but at least we can show that this is how we conduct the lesson. Okay, so in this example, this is about how I conduct flipped learning approach. So during the pre-session, students will watch like 3 videos on 3 learning theories, behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism. Okay, and then during class session, we will have discussions of these 3 learning theories that they have watched before. Okay, and then after the class, which is the post-class activity, they have to come up with their own video, okay, to talk about another learning theory, which is connectivism. Okay, so actually what's more important for the evaluator is to see how you conduct the session, not on the evidence as part of it, but how you plan for the session. So if you say, oh, I'm applying flipped learning in my classroom, so how you do the flipped learning approach? So that's a plan. The lesson plan is more important. Okay, rather than they won't going to watch all the students talking. Okay, but if we have the video, okay, then it's kind of like evidence, proof that this activity has been conducted in that way. Okay. All right. What else? Okay. Please show us how to create the page. Ke istilah lain for 2 different subject, or doesn't matter how many subject. Okay, actually yang ini, this is more on the technical part of the creating e-portfolio. I think yesterday pun UTLC ada buat clinic on how to create the pages in the e-portfolio. Okay, so for my workshop, I'm sorry, I'm not going to look into the technical part of the e-portfolio, but I can show examples on how we can have 2 different subject, okay, and then we can have like different evidences in that pages. Okay, siapa Dr. Syamsuritawati. Doktor boleh tengok dekat UTLC pun ada video on how to create the pages dalam e-portfolio tu. Okay, tapi tak apa, kejap lagi saya boleh tunjuk jugalah. InsyaAllah saya tunjuk page tu. Kalau ada masa kita tunjuk dalam e-portfolio ya. Alright. Okay. So after we have talked about all those evidences, examples of digital evidences that we can have in our teaching portfolio, now we will have some go through of the teaching portfolio, and here I will give examples. Okay, but before that, can we take a break, like 5 minutes break? Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yes, please. 5-minute breaks, and then after this, I will continue with the go through, walk through of examples of teaching portfolio contents. Okay, I'm back. Boleh kita mula semula?
Boleh, boleh.
Okay, welcome back to our workshop. Let me share my screen again. Okay. There is something in the chat. Sometimes the technical part make us in trouble rather than the content. Okay, Dr. Syamshuri Tawati. Perhaps yes, but I think for the technical part, it is very like based on practice. Kalau kita buat, insyaAllah lah kita akan get the pace and we can just improve it from time to time. Okay, so I think on the technical part, UTLC has done a lot of facilitation. Okay, they have clinic for creating pages in ePortfolio, UM ePortfolio. Okay, and then I think they also do a roadshow to every school. Okay, to show what should be in the ePortfolio. Okay. All right, so don't worry if you have any problem, just boleh je dapatkan apa bantuan daripada pihak UTLC. InsyaAllah mereka sangat membantulah especially on the technical part. Okay. But insyaAllah kejap lagi saya tunjuk juga sikit. Tak ada masalah. Cuma saya sebab for today's session I'm not ready with the technical parts. Okay. I'm more on the contents. Okay. Alright. So shall we continue with our workshop today? Okay. So if we look at the teaching portfolio components. Okay. Tadi tu saya bagi contoh-contoh saja dulu. Okay, on the case narratives and evidences. Now we are going to look at the real examples of how we want to combine the case narratives and the evidences in our teaching portfolio. Okay, so basically for the teaching portfolio components, okay, this is the one that is based on Anugerah Akademi Negara. So we have 6 components. Okay, 6 components. 01, teaching and learning philosophy. 02, overall strategy on teaching or supervision and evaluation. And then 03, creativity and innovation, as well as impact on teaching and learning. Okay, and then number 4, teaching or supervision, evaluation and testimonial. Number 5, teaching, supervision, improvement and professional development. Okay, and finally the scholarship in teaching or supervision and evaluation. Okay, so for the e-portfolio, the UUM e-portfolio, the one that we submit to the Dean, okay, it based on the courses, okay, and we have to prepare 01, teaching and learning philosophy, and then 06, scholarship in teaching, supervision and evaluation. This is as the general view of the teaching portfolio. Okay, and then for specific courses, we have to have this overall strategy, creativity, and then teaching, supervision, evaluation and testimonial, and teaching, supervision, improvement, the CQI. Okay, all right. And actually, if you want to go for the DTA or in your e-portfolio as well, you can add this, which is the autobiography, okay, which is the first page, the introductory page, like the ice-breaking page, to tell about us, okay, to tell about us, okay, the autobiography, okay. But it's not listed, So like my case, I will have that in the very first page of the DTA e-portfolio, in the teaching portfolio document, or I include it in the teaching and learning philosophy, the first page of the teaching and learning philosophy in the e-portfolio. Okay, I'll show you a bit. Okay, here I have a link here. Okay, later if you want to go through, okay, there is a link here that bring you to another talk by Dr. Shahriza. I think that is very interesting if you want to know more about the components or the philosophy behind these components, why we need to have all these components. Okay, that's more on the philosophy. I'm not into very philosophy, but and not too technical. I'm in the middle. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, so let's go one by one on the autobiography. So the autobiography is actually the first page where we introduce ourselves. And the way we introduce ourselves is in a professional way, not personal. We are not talking about our personal life, but we are talking about our professional life as an educator. Okay, so here we can have something like what motivates us to become an educator, what is our turning point to become an educator, or what makes you who you are now. Okay, so everybody have a different way, everybody have a different story to tell, but try to make it as a story of our professional journey, how we develop from perhaps if before this you are from the industry, okay, so you come to UUM and becoming an academician. So that's a good story to tell. Okay, because it shows how your professional journey evolved. Okay, all right. Okay, and then okay, this is an example. Okay, this is an example of the autobiography page that I created for my DTA teaching portfolio. Okay, just like 1.5 page. Okay, tak ada idea masa tu kan, macam tak tahu nak tulis apa. Okay, but you can be more creative than me definitely. Okay, and then this one I have transferred into e-portfolio. Okay, this is the one that I prepared last time for the teaching portfolio to be submitted for DTA. And then now, as we are moving into e-portfolio, I transferred it into my e-portfolio page. Okay, so this is an example of my portfolio page. Okay, if you want to go like to the first page of my e-portfolio, you can go here. Okay, I give you the link. Okay, at the chat. Okay, so perhaps you can navigate by yourself later. But I'm not sharing all as for now because some of the contents are still in progress, so I'm not sharing all. Okay, so this is the very first page of our e-portfolio. I believe that all of you has created your e-portfolio. Okay, and you should have this very first page. Okay, and then in my teaching and learning philosophy page, okay, actually I make it as a collection where I have like 3 pages here. Can you see? So now this is the first page. Okay, so the first page is where I have my autobiography. So I just transfer those that I have from the booklet into the e-portfolio, and then I add a bit. Okay, because that one was in 2018. So now I add a bit this part and then put some pictures here. Okay, so if you have more pictures, more storage, definitely. Yes. Okay. Okay, and then okay, so that's for the autobiography. Okay, next, the teaching and learning philosophy. Okay, so what should be in the teaching and learning philosophy? Okay, so teaching and learning philosophy is actually our personal values and beliefs about teaching. But we have to put it in a narrative way. You have to tell in a paragraph. Yeah. So like me, I'm not very philosophical person. Okay. I'm more into technical person, so I have a bit of difficulties to write actually. Okay, but I try. Okay, and the teaching and learning philosophy is actually will provide an overview of the overall teaching portfolio. Okay, all right. So here it is a self-reflective statement. It's our own statement. Okay, some people like they put so many quotes from here and there, and then put it as the teaching philosophy. But for me, it should be a self-reflective statement. It refers to us. Okay, even though we are underpinning our philosophy to falsafah pendidikan negara ke, to teaching and learning theories and so on, but it must reflect on how we apply those theory into our teaching and learning. So our own reflective statement that describes what we believe, and we have to provide examples of what we do in the classroom to support those beliefs. So the examples and the evidences will come later in other sections of our teaching portfolio. Okay, so for example, in my case, my teaching and learning philosophy is centered around the notion of technology enhanced learning. So when I have said that as my teaching philosophy, in my teaching philosophy statement, I have to talk about how I conduct technology enhanced learning. What are the activities that I apply in my teaching and learning, and so on. Okay. Right. Okay. This is another guidelines, okay, guidelines to help us when we want to craft our teaching philosophy. So we can start by talking about our overall concept of teaching and learning, okay, our definition of teaching and learning, our stand and value about teaching and learning. And then we can relate it with the national educational philosophy as well as our institution vision and mission. For example, ilmu budi bakti, kan? We can talk around that, okay, but we have to relate it with our own value about teaching and learning. Okay, and then what is our aspirations or our goals or our objectives as a teacher or as an educator? Okay, for example, perhaps in our teaching philosophy, we want to be an educator that will be able to encourage mastery of learning in our students. So when you have that goals, you have to talk about your roles, how you want to encourage mastery of learning to your students. You as the facilitator or you as the who? So we have to have some kind of statement on that. Okay, and then we can go to the teaching and learning methods. So actually, if you want to craft your teaching portfolio, just take this as one paragraph each. First paragraph, talk about your concept of teaching and learning. Second paragraph, talk about your teaching and learning goals for your students. And then the third paragraph, you can talk about the methods that you use to achieve your teaching and learning goals. But this is very general, meaning that overall, okay, secara keseluruhan, we as an educator, when we teach at the university, okay, what is our main approaches? Okay, for example, like me, I'm choosing technology enhanced learning. Okay, so when I talk about technology enhanced learning, it must be aligned or it must be appear in every stages of their teaching portfolio. All right. Okay, so there are many teaching and learning approaches or methods or strategies that you may adopt or you may apply. So it's okay, never mind. Tak ada betul, tak ada salah. Okay, we have our own choice, yeah, of the strategies or methods that we want to employ, okay, or we want to adopt in our teaching and learning. So perhaps you are more into team-based learning, project-based learning, okay, simulation-based learning, exploratory learning. I don't know. Okay, all of you have your own different methods and approaches. Okay, and then from there, what are the assessment methods? Okay, so we can talk about it. Okay, and align it back with our teaching and learning strategies. So this is kind of like the constructive alignment lah in the teaching portfolio. Okay, right. And we can later go into more specific example within the course. Okay, yang ni dia macam general saja. You just make a general statement. Okay, all right. And then on the professional growth for improving. So you can talk about generally about how you reflect and continuously improve your teaching and learning practice, what problems and challenges that arise, okay, generally from all the courses that we teach, okay, and then how we going to improve our teaching and learning. Okay, so if we can have all of these components in our teaching philosophy, that's going to be like a good teaching philosophy. Okay, and then we want to see how this teaching philosophy is applied throughout our courses. Yeah, okay. So don't worry, for the KPI, just do one page of teaching portfolio, teaching philosophy pun dah cukup lah kan. But if you want to go for the TTA, maybe you want to craft your teaching philosophy more dengan lebih baik lah, the better one. Okay. Okay, so this is my overall idea of the teaching philosophy. Okay, so for me, my conception of teaching is teaching is learning. Okay, teaching is learning. And then I want my students or my teaching to be active and meaningful. And because I want to encourage student-centered learning as well as to improve student FOSI skills. And in achieving these goals, I apply technology-enhanced learning, okay, where I have innovations or teaching and learning strategies that centered around the notions of digital immersive learning experience, okay, where in my teaching and learning practices, I want my students to be able to kind of like immerse with the learning experience that are using digital tools and digital technologies. And this is really important for me because my area of teaching is on educational technology. Okay, so we have to look at our background and our areas as well. Okay, and then for the assessment method, okay, it's normally project-based assessment. So students will have projects. They have to come up with the creation of digital materials. Okay, things like that. Okay, so that they can achieve the learning goal. Okay, and then for the improvement, okay, this is more on we keep learning, do research and attend training, give training and so on. Okay, so this is the overall view of my teaching philosophy. And if I put it into writing, okay, as I said, I'm not good at writing. I'm not good at writing. Okay, but we can put that into writing, okay, as our teaching philosophy statement. And because I'm not good in writing, so I like to have like this kind of general or infographic things, okay, to actually scaffold my thinking and also to help readers understand, okay, my teaching philosophy. Okay, so this is more on the creativity part of how you're going to craft your teaching portfolio. Okay, the contents, all right. Okay, so in my teaching philosophy, I first put my overall perspective, okay, and then I talk about my passion towards EdTech. Okay, so here, this is where I talk about my thinking about teaching as learning, okay, and then here I bring into the technology enhanced learning, okay, and then okay, this is to be added. I'm not done yet because this is quite new approach that I applied in the previous semesters. Okay, so we can always add on to our teaching portfolio. So don't worry if you have this kind of like to be added or you want to put this aside first, it's okay. Actually, I just put it here today, yesterday, just to give you an examples of how we can actually craft our writing or narratives in the e-portfolio or in the teaching portfolio. Okay, and then I talk about the active and meaningful learning here. Okay, and then my role as the facilitator. Okay, facilitator, and how I let my students to become the explorer of knowledge. Okay, so that they can become the creator of knowledge. Okay, so this is very general. I'm not giving specific details. I'm not giving specific examples on how I do this, but that one will go into section 3 later on creativity and innovation. Okay, so here we can go more deep or more specific into cost, into our cost. Okay, all right. Okay, so here I just give like a few examples. Actually, this one like all evidence, all evidence. I might need to update this one. Okay, but I just put it here because I haven't updated any new images or so on. Okay, but this is just an examples of the technology enhanced learning. So here we have the narratives and we have some evidence in the digital format. Like this one is more like a screenshot. Okay, screenshot. Okay, as you said, screenshot requires more storage. But this is like my first, when I first attempt creating e-portfolio kan, masa tu tak tahu lagi. And I think I was the first who create the content in the teaching portfolio when the Mahara system has been developed. Okay, I ingat masa tu Prof Malik minta saya macam buat sampel lah on what are the contents that can be included in the e-portfolio. So this is like awal-awal dulu kan, so saya transfer sajalah yang daripada teaching portfolio saya tu. So now I'm in the stage of editing it, updating it. Okay, so we can do it like very in a spiral ways. Okay, at any time we can just go back and improve. Okay, so this is the second examples of the teaching portfolio page, my teaching philosophy. Okay, what next? Okay, later. Okay, and then okay. So after the teaching philosophy, I talk about the overall strategies. The overall strategies, how I integrate technology enhanced learning in my courses. Okay, so I think all of us, okay, we are all applying the UM online learning. Okay, it's just that within the UM online learning, I also integrate flipped learning approach. So in most of my courses, I integrate flipped learning approach, where I divided my classes into 3 sessions: pre-lesson, in-class activities, and then post-lesson. Okay, so this is the bigger picture. Okay, but then later we can actually have more specific examples of how we integrate flipped learning in our courses. All right. Okay. So again, we have to align it back in with our teaching philosophy. So here, this is an example of the overall methodologies and strategies page. Okay, ini keseluruhan. This is not for the course. This is the overall methodologies for the entire teaching portfolio lah maksudnya. Okay. Okay, lots of work need to be done. Okay, this is just examples of how we can actually start crafting the narratives. Okay, and perhaps we want to have evidences. Okay, so here I talk about 21st century learning. Okay, I align it back with my teaching philosophy, where I want to have a student-centered and active learning. Okay, to achieve the meaningful learning through project-based and interactive learning strategies and so on. Okay, so in terms of the interactive learning strategies, these are the tools or the applications that I apply or that I use, okay, in my teaching and learning. Okay, but I'm not going into very specific, okay, because sometimes I just use Popplet for this course and then Nearpod for another course. Okay, so here we just give the general overview. Okay, and then during, okay, this is the one that I take from the previous teaching portfolio. Okay, so Popplet pun saya dah lama tak guna sebenarnya. Sorry. Okay, but in my previous teaching portfolio, I have that. Okay, and then during the COVID-19 pandemic, okay, so this is the one that I added. Okay, okay, so I talk about my approaches or my strategies, okay, during the remote learning. So both synchronous, asynchronous, and so on lah. And then what are the teaching aids that I use, Canva, pre-recorded lesson to support the flipped learning approach, and so on. Okay, and then Mentimeter, Miro for collaboration, brainstorming, mind mapping, and so on. Okay, and then depending on the nature and suitability of the activities, I also integrated other tools such as Padlet. Okay, so it means that we might integrate Padlet, but perhaps not in all courses. Okay, so this is the general, the big overview of our methodologies and strategies in teaching and learning. Okay, I think this is one of the things that need to be improved when you are preparing a teaching portfolio for the DTA. We need to have this section first, and then later you go into more specific section where you provide example based on the courses. Okay, so if you can do that, that's going to be wonderful. Okay, here to be added. Tak siap lagi saya pun. Jangan risau, tak siap lagi. Okay. And then okay lah, ini contoh lah. This is just an examples of how we want to have a narrative in our teaching philosophy. Okay, so it's not about compiling, putting everything. Okay, okay. So this is what I mean. I have for teaching and learning philosophy, I have this 3 pages. Okay, tadi ada yang tanya kan apa pages apa sebut tu kan. So dalam e-portfolio ni kita boleh ada pages. So it's like a website lah sebenarnya, but it's a different view lah. Okay, alright. Okay, go back to my slide here. Okay, creativity. Okay, now we are going to go more specific, and I will show you example for particular course. Okay, so when we talk about creativity and innovation, okay, as well as impact on teaching and learning, we will go more specific section, and we can have some selected courses. Okay, for e-portfolio, for the UUM e-portfolio KPI, we have no choice. We have no option. We have to do all the courses that we teach for the particular semester, right? Okay, but simple lah kan. But for the teaching portfolio that we want to submit for DTA or AN, we can actually again go back to the process. Be selective. Be selective, meaning that we can choose like 1 or 2 courses that we really do the innovation in that particular course, and then we want to share it. So that one we will put it in the teaching portfolio. Okay. But for the e-portfolio KPI, no choice. Kena buat semua. Kalau semester tu we are teaching 2 courses, then both 2 courses we have to create the e-portfolio lah. Yeah. Okay. And then here, this is where we want to show the constructive alignment within the course. So macam mana the innovations that we apply in the course is actually aligned with the course learning outcome, with the teaching and learning activities, as well as the assessment method. Okay, so that's why we go more specific into the course. Okay, and then we can provide examples or evidences of the course achievement lah. Okay, here example 1. Okay, alamak. Okay, okay, later I will I need to make it like public or shared with all UUM staff if I want you to have access to this. But now it's like just for me and the dean kan. Okay. All right. So this is an example of one course teaching portfolio. Okay. Semua orang ada buat ni kan? I believe that everybody is doing this. So you will have like 4 pages for your course. Okay. But as I said just now, setakat ni belum ada rubrik lagi. So far there's no rubric or specific information on what must be in the pages. So it's like still flexible. We just go by the title. So for the first page, it's about overall strategy on teaching and evaluation for that particular course. For that particular course. So here, I'm talking about SGDM 3023. So I just talk about this particular course. But just now, that's on the overall methodology and strategies for the entire teaching portfolio, right? For the entire practice. Okay. All right. So normally what I have, okay, this might not be a good example sebab tadi Mr. Adi tanya kan apa yang kena ada dalam setiap page tu kan. Saya pun tak ada jawapan. Okay, but this is what I did so far. Okay, for my first page, I will have like a very short introduction about the course. Okay, and then about the strategy on teaching and evaluation, I actually put it in one slide, one video. This is actually the video or the slide that I use with my students at the very beginning of the session. You know, kan selalu kita introduce the course kan to the students. So we will talk about what is the course all about, what is the strategies that we employ, what are the assessment methods, and what are the assessment types that we integrate for that course, right? So I just convert it into video format, or nanti saya tunjuk macam mana kita boleh buat embed terus. Okay, this one is I upload into YouTube. Okay, so this one embed and it will link to YouTube video. Okay. Okay, so ini saya punya approach lah, okay, to make my life easier. So I just use the slide that I use. Siapa duk cakap tu? Okay. Okay, so to make the process of creating this e-portfolio easier for me, so I just use whatever materials that I have. So my strategy is to use the first slide, the slide that I use for my introduction about the course, and that one I put it here. Okay, so yang ni saya prepare guna Canva. Okay, kejap lagi saya tunjuk contoh macam mana kita nak, saya tak tunjuk lah step by step macam nak create slide dalam Canva kan, tapi macam mana nak jadikan slide itu boleh kita embed masuk ke dalam e-portfolio. Okay, alright. So ini untuk the first course, okay, the first page of the course. Okay, and then the second page, this is where we talk about the creativity and innovation, as well as impact on teaching and learning. Okay, so here I talk about the dialects approach, the digital immersive learning experience. So remember, actually tadi dekat my teaching philosophy, I already craft my teaching philosophy to include about this digital immersive learning experience. Okay, so as I said, this is quite new. So yang ni saya baru dalam saya punya teaching portfolio yang printed tu dulu tak ada lah, saya tak buat lah yang ni. Okay, so now I try to go into course by course. So saya rasa teaching portfolio yang e-portfolio ni bagus juga, sangat bagus, sebab kita akan prepare materials or evidences based on particular course. Yeah. Alright. So I talk about the approaches, okay, and then evidence. Boleh kalau you nak letak evidence. Kejap lagi saya tunjuk macam mana nak masukkan evidence ni. So saya sajalah letak to be updated. Okay, so we can have the digital evidences from the YouTube or the Canva ke, Genially ke. Okay, we can have it here, or you can have a link. Okay, and then here, this is on how we conduct collaborative activities using Miro. Okay, so for this course, okay, for the collaborative activities, we conduct an brainstorming project discussion using Miro. Okay, okay, and then for example, okay, it depends to you. If you want to show everything about your course, it's okay. But for me, I will just choose one or two CLO that I have innovation in it. Okay, because sometimes we have like 3 CLO, but the first CLO is like quiz. So quiz tu biasalah kan, kita buat lah. But perhaps in one of the CLO, you have something different that you applied from the previous courses or from the previous semesters. So that the one that we want to highlight. Okay, so for the purpose of this course, I just chose CLO 3. Okay, so CLO 3, I show here how I do the constructive alignment for this CLO, where the CLO is actually requires student to produce audio and video materials for teaching and learning. Okay, and then the collaborative learning activities, okay, to achieve this CLO, these are the learning activities that involve. Okay, so synchronous, asynchronous, integration of digital tools, WhatsApp, Canva, Genially, Mentimeter, Miro. Okay, so this is the Miro, the evidence of how we have a Miro discussion. Okay, and then for the assessment task, okay, the assessment task, students need to develop instructional video in collaboration with group members and in service teacher. Maksudnya student dalam kelas ni, sebab saya mengajar pre-service teachers kan, bakal-bakal guru. Okay, so they in their group, okay, contoh satu group tu ada 3 orang. Okay, so dia kena collaborate pula dengan guru di sekolah, in service teachers, ada seorang guru. Okay, and then they have to develop the instructional material. Okay, so to facilitate them in developing the materials and so on. Okay, throughout the courses, this what I did lah. Okay, kita ada like macam guest speaker, kita panggil alumni from this course. Dulu diorang pernah ambil kursus ni. Sekarang ni diorang dah jadi cikgu. Okay, so we ask them to come and give a talk during the class session. Okay, to give like motivation, overviews, skills and so on. Okay, share with the student. Okay, and then here evidence, examples of the achievement of the CLO. So tadi I talk about CLO 3. So now I'm giving the evidence for that CLO lah. So meaning that we can have a link here. Macam tadi kan Wawa tanya kan, how we can do the link. Okay, this is one example. Kalau tak nak embed, just letak macam ni je. Letak ni and then nanti ada dalam setting tu kita create link. Okay, insert link. Okay, so it will go directly to the YouTube video.
现在我在你的面前讲中文还是华语，你明不明白我说什么？
Okay.
Rasa namun tambah rasa namun. Rasa namun.
So it will bring to the students' work lah, examples of the students' work. Okay. Yang ni saya tak payah tunjuk lah kan, detail nanti boleh je nak go through. Oops. Jap. Mana tadi? Okay. Dan seterusnya lah. Okay, so these are examples of evidences. Okay, so this one, if you want to prepare the booklet, the teaching portfolio booklet, we can actually transfer this into the Microsoft Word ataupun PowerPoint ataupun Canva ke later. Or if you want to print it out, PDF file, I think you can, but I haven't tried. Okay, but I think you can. Okay, just right click, I think, print it or save as. Okay, print as PDF. Okay, but perhaps the setting a bit, you know, dia lari sikit lah, tak macam kalau dalam Words. If it's in Microsoft Word, then we can do some adjustment and so on. Okay, but if it's directly from the website, then it will follows the setting from the website. Okay. Okay. So far so good. Okay, there is a question here from Dr. Saha. Can you explain one more time about your creativity? Creativity, okay. Alamak, creativity is quite subjective kan? So I don't know, maybe this is creative enough for me, but perhaps not so creative for other people. But it's okay, we just try to do our best, okay. And in this creativity and innovation, I talk about how I try to immerse my students in a digital learning experience. So for example, in the project, okay, they still have to do the collaborative work. They have to come up with the video production, even though they are far away. They are not here, okay, because this course has been conducted during the remote learning, okay, but they managed to come up with the project, okay, even though they are not together, okay, and they managed to also have a collaboration with in-service teachers, okay. So in their video, actually they have appearance of the in-service teachers. Okay, perhaps mana contoh? Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan hai semua. Berjumpa kita bersama Cikgu Yasmin, Cikgu Hidayat dan Cikgu Fatika dalam pembelajaran bahasa Melayu.
Okay, so Cikgu Fatika, the Cikgu Fatika is the in-service teachers. For this class, this the only 2 students for this class. Okay, and then in the video,
tiga jenis para pelajar.
Sekejap, mana? Yeah, okay, so in the video, they also have the appearance of the in-service teacher. So the in-service teacher act as the facilitator as well, where they guide the students and help the students in terms of the contents when they want to create the educational materials, okay, for that particular topic. Okay, so I think that's my creativity for that course for that particular semester. Okay, but you can have your own creativity, your own innovations. Okay, tak ada betul, tak ada salah, no right or no wrong. Okay, it's just that how we showcase and how we try to share with others, so that perhaps I don't know, but hopefully, perhaps from this sharing, some of you might get some ideas on, oh, maybe next time I can do this kind of activity, okay, with my students. When they want to do a project, we can have a collaboration using Miro, okay, where everybody can go into the wall and brainstorm the ideas, and then they can upload documents, okay, as for the instructor and the group members to look at the progress from time to time, okay, because we are in the remote learning environment at that time. Okay, is that okay, Doctor? Okay, all right. Kejap lagi. I will show you a bit later on the how I create the video. That's actually just using Canva. Okay, just use Canva. Okay, let me finish with the content and the go through first, the walkthrough first. Okay, now okay, so that's for example 1. Okay, and then I have example 2 here for another course. Okay, for another course. Okay, on SGDT 5113. Okay, so the same thing. On the first page, I have the course description. Okay, this one just copy and paste from the syllabus. Okay, I just copy and paste from the syllabus. All right. Okay, and then introduction about the course. Again, actually, I just use the same template that I have for my other courses. Okay. And then I just change a bit in terms of the content, because it's just the same. I'm applying the same strategy. I'm applying the same methods, right? Okay, it's just that I change a bit in terms of the content of the course learning outcome. Okay, so this one for this course, and then the topics to be covered. Okay, what are the learning outcome clusters that need to be achieved for this particular course? Okay, so the description is normally I will explain to the students during the first session of the class. Okay, and then this is the assessment mapping, yeah, with the CLO and so on. Okay, but the detail, okay, I'm not showing the detail here. Okay, the detail to be provided in the UM online learning. Okay, the details are in the UM online learning. So maybe some of you might be asking whether our teaching portfolio is similar with our UM online learning. I would say no. I would say no. In our UM online learning, it is more detailed. We have so many details in there. Okay, but in the teaching portfolio, we just highlight some of the important things. Okay, highlight the innovations. Okay, that we want to showcase. But if you want to share everything, it's up to you. It's up to you. It's really up to you. Okay, but for me, I'm not go into that detail in my teaching portfolio. Okay, for example here, maybe, okay, this is just an example. Okay, in the UM online learning, okay, we have very detailed information, right? We have the WebEx link, we have the rubrics, we have the slides for each topic. We have link to activities, right? Ice breaking and so on. Well, if you think that some of it are interesting and you want to put it in the teaching portfolio, that's fine. Okay, all right. Okay, so the detail is more on the UM online learning, but in the teaching portfolio, be selective. Be selective. Okay, all right. So this is just an example to show the differences between my teaching portfolio and my UM online learning. But if I want to take this as an example, I can just like do a screenshot or save it as a PDF and embed it in my teaching portfolio. If I want to show how I plan or how I organize my lesson in the UM online learning in my teaching portfolio. Okay, yes, we can do that. Okay, so we can see the difference, yeah. Okay. Lagipun there are lots of like it's not really personal. I mean some informations that we don't want to share with public, right? In the teaching portfolio. Okay, so we put that in the UM online learning, which is between us and the students. Okay, so I think I'm done with the sample here. Two example. Oh, sorry. Wait. Okay. For this one, I'm done. Banyak sangat kan? Saya pun kadang sekejap, mana-mana tadi? Oops, not this one, not this one. Okay, sorry. Okay. This one tadi 5113. Okay, this is the first page. Okay, the second page is on the creativity and innovation. Okay, so again, I choose only one CLO to talk about, which is they have to develop instructional materials, okay, by using ICT resources based on sound pedagogy, education pedagogy, and then this is also collaborative learning and so on. So what they have to do is actually to create e-module using Canva. Okay, so this is the examples of the online module created by the students, okay, using online collaborative tasks in Canva. Okay, so in Canva, I can actually give feedback or comment to the students. Okay, and then why I said that this is kind of like innovation, because I think I can share about it, and I did manage to come up with a paper on this, yeah, on empowering students online learning, online collaborative learning during COVID-19 pandemic using Canva, and I've shared it in the ISS. So these are the impact of the innovation. Okay, so we just go back to the title, creativity and innovation as well as impact. Okay, so you can if you want, I can like list all the I can show all the e-module that have been created. Okay, but I just show here the example, okay, and then I give the link to the slides that I presented. Okay, all right. So there are many ways, actually many ways on how we can actually arrange our teaching portfolio. Okay, and then this one for the next page on teaching or supervision, evaluation and testimonial. So we can like just get the screenshot from the ECVAS. Okay, I think this one no problem, very straightforward in terms of the content. But it's good if you can have, if you can write a bit in terms of reflection. Okay, in the next page where we talk about, okay, this one not done yet. Okay, not done yet. Okay. All right. All right, it's okay if you want to go for other meetings or so on. Okay, all right, never mind. Okay, so I think I'm done with the sample here. Okay, all right. Okay, next. Okay, this is another sample, just very straightforward. Okay, similar to what I showed just now. It's just that this is for another components, which is on scholarship in teaching or supervision and evaluation. So this one for the research, okay, I just list, okay, but again, be selective. We can list, and then we can go more in depth. We can choose one or two impactful research output, and we can have the case narrative for this particular research output, okay, and then give evidence. Okay, so for example, why it is impactful? Because I managed to get an IP for this strategy, okay, and then we also go for innovation competition and we won medals. So these are kind of evidences that we can show or showcase in our teaching portfolio. Okay, another example, okay, from another research, okay, on ePort UUM, ePortfolio UUM, okay, all right, okay. So we have like our own creativity, our different ways of telling stories about our practice. Okay, so we can this is just example. This is just example. How you're going to do it is it's really up to you, up to your creativity. But these are the things that actually we want to look when you submit for the teaching portfolio, especially for the DTA. Okay, and then publication and so on, we can list it. And evidence, okay, this is a way we link to the real evidence. Okay, you can list, but it's good to have a link to the papers so that people can go directly to the papers and have a read, and perhaps they want to cite our papers, so it gives values. Yeah, okay, and so on. All right, so I think I've covered that one for research and publication. And then this is examples of page for knowledge sharing. This is for 06 scholarship in teaching, supervision and evaluation, because we have like many sections for that. Okay, so another part of it is on how we leverage the knowledge that we have, okay, and we share it to other educators. Okay, so this is examples of trainings or programs that I'm taking part of. So it's good, it's actually good. Okay, this is not done yet. Okay, actually it's good if we can have a reflection about the activities or about the program. So we can base our reflection on Gibbs reflective cycle. If you are familiar with Gibbs reflective cycle, so we can have a description about what the event is all about, what is our contribution, what is good and bad about the events or the programs, and then what are the responses or testimonials that we get from the participants, and what can be improved in the future if we are going to conduct the same event or the similar event. Okay. Okay, another example. Okay, well, as I said, don't let the evidence speak by themselves, but we can have like a few lines, okay, just to tell, because sometimes you already have the description in the posters, so that's fine. But if it's just like a screenshot of Zoom meeting, WebEx meeting, but we don't know what is this event all about, so we have to add in some description. Okay, that's what I mean. Don't let the evidence speak by themselves. So as I said, I'm not very good at writing up, so I'm more into graphical things. So I use graphics to help me to narrate the teaching portfolio. Okay. All right, that's all I think for the walkthrough of examples. Okay, okay, we still have like another 1 hour. Okay, so we will go to the hands-on part after this. Okay, before that, just as a wrap up to this session, before we go to the hands-on, okay, can we go to the Mentimeter once again and use the code 991 Lidah pun dah terbelit-belit dah ni. 6908. Okay, and then just write in there what would be the highlight of your teaching portfolio. Okay, perhaps from this session, you will get you already get some ideas on what you want to highlight in your teaching portfolio, especially in terms of the creativity and innovation. Okay, so maybe we can share a bit so that everybody can like get ideas like, oh, okay, I think I'm more into this approach. So, okay, I want to talk about this more. Or I think I'm doing this kind of innovation in my teaching and learning. So I'm going to showcase about that, things like that. Okay, there's another question from Dr. Saha. Are you teaching through Canva? Well, yes, actually, for my teaching aids, presentation tools, and so on, mostly I prepare in Canva or Genially. But the one that I shared in the teaching portfolio is just the introduction. We are not going to share the notes or the slides in the teaching portfolio. I don't think so. We can have the perhaps the main page of it, okay, but not the entire slide. Especially if you want to go for a public teaching portfolio, if you want to share it publicly, because that's kind of like materials that is exclusive for you and your students, right? But if you think that is okay, maybe some part of it you want to share it, then that's fine. Okay. Okay, perhaps we can have like while I'm taking a break for 1 minute, please take part in this Mentimeter. Oh, okay, we have some responses already. Interesting. If you want to talk or give your feedback verbally, also you are most welcome. Ada orang dia suka nak cakap kan, nak share kan. It's okay, it's okay. Okay. Any more? Out of 72 participants, we have 6 already. So this is actually this is another examples lah of how we can actually conduct our teaching and learning session with our student as well, right? So in the first part of the session, we get feedback, and then in the middle, and then at the end, right? So at least at some points we do some checking or some interaction with the students. And if you want to like screenshot this or snapshot it and put it in teaching portfolio, so can. Okay, so I'm not going to wait for everyone, but please continue provide your feedback. Okay, so we can see here. Okay, what would be the highlight of your teaching portfolio? Okay, some of you want to showcase or highlight on the student comments and feedback. Yes, that's going to be in the testimonial and evaluation part. Okay, you can you should have that. Okay, and then yes, you want to highlight the interesting part of your teaching and learning, the creativity, the innovativeness in your teaching and learning, okay, and the important informations, okay, that you want to share. Fact, evidence, and reflection. Yes, we have to narrate our teaching portfolio based on the fact, evidence, and reflection. It's not like creating duduk bawah pokok karang kan, tak. It's based on a fact, on what we are doing, the fact of what we are doing in our teaching, and then we have to provide with the evidence of what we are doing, and of course, in the narrative we have to put it in a reflective way. Okay. And then my creative idea transform into myself or students' activity with different types of digital or non-digital tools. Great. So we want to see how that creative idea been transformed. So throughout the teaching portfolio, perhaps this will be in your teaching philosophy, okay? And then in the methodology creativity section, we will have evidence on that, on how your creative idea been transformed in the students' activity with the use of different digital or non-digital tools. Right? Teaching strategy, assessment, and philosophy, also testimony and technology enhancement. Yes, definitely we need to have all those informations or things in our teaching portfolio. My approach, yes, I like interactive class. Thus, I encourage students to articulate their views, etc. And I will get their feedback to let them express themselves. Okay, so this can be your general goal. Okay, your goal of teaching and learning, where you want to encourage students to articulate their views. So it will be in your teaching philosophy part. And then in your another section in your teaching portfolio, in the course, for example, you have to provide evidence how your students has been encouraged to articulate their views. What activities that you conduct to encourage students to articulate their views. Okay, and then what other feedback that you get from them. All right, so this is going to be interesting. Okay. The best practices from my experiences, yes, interesting. The highlight of my teaching portfolio would be the testimonial from my students. Okay, yes, definitely. We need to have the testimonial. But when we talk about testimonial, what to say? Make it very natural, meaning that the testimonial comes naturally from the students. It's not that we dictate them to provide a testimonial. Okay, normally testimonial we can get testimonial from students' reflection. So reflection is different from like we ask, okay, can you please give me a testimonial about this course? That's very like directive, right? But if we ask them to do a reflection, so we ask them to reflect about what they have learned throughout the course, what is good and not so good about the course, how the course can be improved. So that's going to be a better testimonial. Okay, and we can get feedback that we can use as a data, okay, for us to analyze and evaluate, and we can plan for future improvement. All right. Okay. Share my passion on a formal platform with fact. Yes. The formal platform would be the e-portfolio, UMB portfolio, as well as the teaching portfolio. Okay, what is this? Decision support system for small-scale farmers is one of the outcome from the student group assignment. I would like to highlight this as one of the innovation achievement by the students, which will be very useful for the new small-scale farmers. Yes, this is going to be interesting. So in your teaching portfolio, you can show the outcome. Okay, and then before the outcome, it's going to be good if you can share how you conduct the assignment. Okay, so that other people's, when they look at this innovation, they can kind of like can get some ideas on, oh, actually we can also apply this technique or apply these strategies with our course, for example, but perhaps with a different topic. Okay, so that's the purpose of sharing of teaching portfolio. Okay, we want to share the best practices or the examples of best practices that other people can follow and innovate or improve from. All right, so thank you so much for those who have participating in this Mentimeter activities. You are so wonderful, excellent. Okay. Lama, just join. Perhaps you're able to show us how to start, especially on the system. Alamak, doctor. I'm not going to go very technical, but I will try. For the technical part, can refer to UTLC. There is a clinic for the e-portfolio. Is there any evidence or section we can have in portfolio for interpersonal skills? Okay, well, yes, I think it depends on what are the activities that you conduct with the students. So if you have like evidence of the students' work or the activities that they conducted to grow their interpersonal skills, then we can have that. Okay, now we are going to go to the second part, which is the hands-on. Okay, I think no need to take a break anymore. We have done that before. Okay, I just go to the. Okay, let me. Okay, so now I'm going to show you. I think most of you are interested on how to create the introductory video in the Canva. Am I right? Okay, let me close this. Too many. Okay, anyone interested to know how to create the introductory video? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so actually, I believe that many of you also familiar with Canva. Okay, can I have in a chat who never used Canva? Type in 2. Type in 2. Oh, alamak, ramai Never use, okay, 2. If you never use Canva, 2. So I can go like a bit from the beginning. Okay, any more? Ramai yang, siapa yang biasa guna 1? Can you please key in 1 at the chat? Okay, Wawa biasa guna. Kalau face to face, selalunya saya akan minta tolong siapa yang biasa guna ni untuk bantu kawan-kawan yang lain kan. Tapi sebab online, but at least you can see in the chat, maybe ada your colleagues that are familiar with Canva. So after this, if you want to get more help, then boleh refer lah kan kat kawan-kawan. Okay. Alright. Takkan sikit je. So saya pun tak tahu ni sebenarnya ramai yang tahu ke ramai tak tahu ke kan. Lagi saya go very fast ke very slow ke kan. Okay, any more? If you never use, tekan key in 2. Kalau dah biasa guna 1. Okay, biasa guna tapi tak expert sangat. Okay, tak apa. Okay, tak apa. Alright, at least I get some ideas on the background of the participants regarding the use of Canva. Okay, thank you so much. Now, okay, for those who haven't used Canva before, you can just go to www.canva.com. Okay, www.canva.com. Okay, and then you can create an account. Okay, create an account. Okay, like me, I've already have an account, so and I already create an account. Okay, but for the first timer, you can create an account. And my suggestion is, please create an account using UUM email address. Okay, because later, sometimes Canva will allow us to claim for education account if we log in or we create an account using educational institution account. So like all of us, we have the UUM emails, right? So like me, sitinaz.uum.edu.my. So when we create an account, okay, sign up for an account. Okay, let me sign out first here. Okay, so when you want to sign up for an account, sign up using email. Okay, using email, and sign up using the UUM email. Okay, because Canva, it has free account. It has free account, pro account, enterprise, and education account. Okay, so like me, I managed to claim for education account during the COVID-19 pandemic last time. Otherwise, I'm just using the free account. But at that time, Canva allowed us to claim for education account. Okay, but just for now, use your UUM email to create an account. Otherwise, you can just use the free, no problem as well. It's just that when we are having the education account or the pro account, we have more features. Okay, so once you are done with the signing up, you can log in. You can log into your account. Okay, and then your password. Okay, sebab selalu saya macam stay sign in kan, kadang lupa password. Okay, all right, so this is my account, Canva account. Okay, so if you look here at the Canva home, actually we can design almost everything. We can design almost everything using Canva. Presentation, social media, graphical things, video, print products, and so on. Okay, so for the examples that I'm showing just now, okay, actually for all my courses, okay, for example, this one, yeah. Okay, not this one. Okay, I create my presentation slide and so on using Canva. Okay, and then for the introduction, okay, for the introduction part, okay, I have one section to introduce the course. Okay, so if you want to start from scratch, if this is your first time, you just go to home and then create new presentation. Okay, create new presentation. And then just create your presentation like you are creating PowerPoint. So you can have like multiple slides. Okay, you can use templates that are available. Okay, for example, here I just choose this one. Okay, and apply all 9 pages. For this is just for example. Okay, and then you can modify the contents, or you want to create your own. That's also fine. Okay, the components or the elements are all here. Okay, for example, if you want to add images or elements, it's all here. The elements, okay, you can have lines, photos, graphics, and so on. Okay, and then if you want to upload your own picture, okay, you can also upload your own picture. Okay, or you want to use photos from the Canva library, it's all here. Okay, if you want to add text, okay, you can add text. Okay, you can add text here. Okay, and then for the text or for the elements, the what we call this, the properties. The properties are all up here. So for example, if you want to change the change the font type, change the colors, okay, and so on, it's all here. Okay, I'm not going to go detail in this, okay, but this is just you need to do some exploration later, and you can come up with your own slide. I will just show you on the how we're going to convert it into a video and then share it in the e-portfolio. Okay, so this is very basic. Okay, if you do more exploration, you can come up with your own creative, interesting slides and so on. Okay. All right, so I'm going back to the, okay, I'm not going to use this one. So for example, let's say that I've done creating my slide for the introduction. Okay. Okay, so this is example of the introductory slide. So during the first class, I use this slide. I use this slide during the first class. And then after the first class done, I will convert it into a video format, or I have new, more easier way. Actually, no need to download and upload to the YouTube. Okay, we can just share it directly from Canva. Okay, so for example, I've done creating the slide. Okay, I have 13 slides altogether here. Okay, for this particular introductory slide for this course. Okay, so I have all the information here, the course learning outcome, the topics to be covered, okay, the learning outcome clusters to be achieved, and the assessment. Okay, the outline of the assessment. Okay, but the details will be in the online learning, the rubric and so on will be there. Okay, but because this is the very first class, right? So we are not going to go very detailed. Okay. Okay, and then, okay, let's say we are done with this. Okay, let's say we are done with this. Okay, if you want to present in your class during the class session, you can just present it directly here. Okay, here you can just present. Okay, and present. Okay, but this one, because I've already converted, okay, I want to convert it into video, so I include the audio. But during the first class, I don't have the audio yet, because I want to, you know, to discuss with the students, to explain to the students. But after the class finish, then I add the video, the audio. Sorry, the audio. How to add the audio is just here, audio. So you can choose from the library. These all are free, depending on the account that you are using. Okay, if you are using a free account, perhaps the list will be less. Okay. Okay, so just add in, and the audio will be included for the entire slide. Okay, for the entire slide. Okay, and then once we are done, okay, that's one way for presenting. Okay, now I'm going to share it, and I want to have it in my e-portfolio. Okay, so the easiest way that I managed to do is to make it as a website. Okay, here there are so many ways of sharing or downloading, yeah, the Canva creation. You can actually download it and make it as a PDF, JPEG, SVG, or MP4 video. So if you want to upload into YouTube channel, then you have to download the MP4 video, but it's going to take several process. You have to download here, and then you have to upload to your YouTube channel. Okay, so at first, that's what I did with the SGDM 3023. Okay, if you remember just now, I show it's the embed code to the YouTube. But now I got a new ways, okay, and I think it's more easier. Just make it as a website. Okay, website. Okay, so it will create a link. It will create a link for this website. So just open the website. Okay, open the website. So this is gonna be the URL for this presentation. Well, you can still share with your students by giving them this URL. Okay, and normally these are the URL that I shared with the students in the online learning as well. So after the class or before the class, if I want to share the slide that I created in Canva, I will just give them the link. I won't download or save it into PDF. Okay, but you can if you want. All right. But normally I just give them link. All right. So okay, go back to here. Am I too fast? Let me know if I'm too fast. Okay, where is it? Where is it? Too many browsers. Okay, so this is, okay, let me refresh here. Okay, so this is the link. This is the link of the website. Now we go to our e-portfolio. Okay, e-portfolio. So make sure you already log into your e-portfolio account. Okay, and then you choose the pages that you want to add on the link. Okay, I'm just giving you examples. So I will put it somewhere here. Okay. Okay. So when I have that one, it will appear like this. Okay, I just show you how to do it. Okay, so we have to go to the editing mode in the UUM e-portfolio. Okay, and then add a new block. Add new block. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to show you from A to Z about e-portfolio, yeah, the technical part. This is more on how we want to share the Canva link in the e-portfolio. Okay, so we add a new block. Okay, add a new block. And then at the block title, okay, we can put a title, for example, course introduction video. Okay, and then at the content types, okay, at the content types, there are lots of content types here where we can have text, image, files to download, PDF, some HTML and so on. Okay, go until you find, okay, show more, show more. Show more, okay. In external media. Okay, and then click external media. Okay, so now you will get this URL or embed code. Okay, don't worry so much about the embed code. You just paste the URL just now. Okay, this is the URL. The e-portfolio will create the embed code for you. Okay, those who have IT background will understand what embed code is. But don't worry about this. Just copy the link. Just copy the link here and then save. Okay. Oops. Yeah, it's work. Oh, sorry. I'm pasting the wrong link. Okay, not this one, not this one. That one is on e-portfolio. Okay, go back to the browser here. Get this one. Get this link. C, Control C, copy it. Okay, and then go back to your e-portfolio. Okay. Okay, this is correct one, Canva. Okay, and then save. Okay, so see, no need to upload to YouTube. It's directly from the Canva, and you can have it embed into the e-portfolio. So this one is just embed code, so it's not taking much of the storage, rather than if you download it, upload the file and so on. Okay, it's like a link. It's just that it's more interactive. It has pictures on it. Another way of having links, okay, for example, just now that I show, is to just have the link, list of the link, and then okay, for example, like this one, okay, make it as a text. Okay, put the link here. Okay, and then you highlight it and make sure you will have this one, link it. Okay, and you have to paste it once again. This one is going to be linked. Okay, but if you want it to appear, okay, I will show you two different things. Okay, it will bring to the same place. It will bring to the same place, but this one is in the form of link, the URL link, okay, in the forms of text. But this one is in the form of embed media. So when it is embed, you can see the main interface of it in the ePortfolio platform. So it's going to be more interesting and lively, I think. I think this will answer Wawa questions just now as well. Okay, but it depends on the link. Video from YouTube, yes, we can do this, embed. From Canva, yes, we can do that. Genially, I haven't tried yet. Okay, tak pasti boleh ke tak. Okay, but as for now, I'm using these two. Okay, others than that, I think Padlet and so on also can. Okay, boleh follow ke? Okay, boleh try tak? Boleh buat tak? Hello, am I losing connection or what? Hello, anyone there?
Okay, understood.
Okay. Sebab senyap sangat kan? Kita pun risau juga tahu. Kadang-kadang cakap seorang-seorang dia tu, lose connection kan?
Canva ni very important for the lecturers, for the educators.
Yeah, I would say it's very interesting and wonderful tools. Tak tahu lah, maybe nanti UTLC boleh kot kita arrange one session for Canva only.
Educators really need to understand Canva lah.
Ya.
Boleh doktor.
InsyaAllah.
Pun nak belajar juga.
InsyaAllah banyak sangat boleh buat. So as for now, what I use with Canva is first, of course, the slide. And we can also have collaborative activities dalam Canva. Okay, sebagai contoh ice breaking. Ice breaking pun boleh, and actually that one can also be shared lah nanti. Cuma saya tak siap lagi lah, saya punya portfolio memang banyak, evidence saya pun banyak. Tapi biasalah kan bila nak compile tu, I have to like sit just 1 or 2 days just to do this. Otherwise memang tak sempat lah kan dengan kerja-kerja lain semua. But yes, Canva is very powerful for me. And for example, I can show you on the...
UUM ada engage Canva tak for all the lecturers?
It's free account, so we can just...
Yang itu ada educators tu, ada premium, jenis-jenis kategori tu ada bayaran kan?
Yes. Ada bayaran, tapi itulah macam saya kata, we can subscribe for the free account first, or use the UUM email accounts, and then if the Canva open for the opportunity, we can actually claim for education account. So the education account kita boleh dapat more features lah. Dia almost similar macam pro. Tapi kalau yang free pun insyaAllah cukup lah untuk kita nak explore dulu. And then if we feel like it's very powerful and you want to have more access to it, why not? Bayarlah sikit kan.
Canva ni baru lagi kan? Ke dah lama dah dalam?
Actually dah lama doktor, dah lama. Saya start guna Canva ni like macam 2-3 tahun jugalah. Cuma lately ni ada banyak lagi features dia yang sangat menarik. Dia add on lah, dia keep adding on the features. Macam satu lagi kita boleh buat pre-recorded lesson.
Through Canva?
Boleh buat through Canva. Itulah saya rasa that one need one slot, just go on Canva saja what we can do with Canva. So otherwise nanti macam bercampur lah kan.
Dia boleh link dengan YouTube juga kan?
Well actually kalau kita nak upload ke YouTube boleh, tapi macam saya kata tadi lah, it's gonna take several process. But if we want to share it directly pun boleh.
Because tak silap saya, UTLC pun dia minta buat macam YouTube channel for lecturers kan.
Boleh lah kalau nak buat YouTube channel, then first we create the YouTube channel, okay, and then for the contents of the YouTube channel, kita boleh ambil, boleh create daripada ni lah, daripada Canva. Contoh kan, saya just bagi contoh je lah. Bagi contoh dulu, nanti kalau ada masa kita boleh hands on lah on that. Ya, anak saya lah ni, tengok tak. Okay, sekejap. Okay, so okay, macam ni saya punya channel. Okay, so these are the videos and most of it like macam saya buat dia punya slide tu guna Canva. Okay, and then macam yang ni actually kita boleh buat pre-recording ni. Kita boleh record dalam Canva terus. Tu malu nak tunjuklah video ni kan.
At the end of this video, you
So
should
yang ni
be
semua
able
buat
to
dalam Canva je.
discuss
Semua boleh buat dalam
5
Canva.
ways how the use
Ni
of
awal-awal saya belajar guna Canva dulu lah. Okay. Malu nak tunjuk video tu. Tapi boleh lah, boleh banyak apa aktiviti yang kita boleh buat guna Canva. Okay, so this is another example collaboration. Maksudnya kita create Canva tapi kita share dengan student. So bila kita share kat sini, kita share, nampak ni. Ni saya, ini student saya lah yang lain. Okay, maksudnya diorang ni boleh ada akses kepada Canva ni. Okay, bila diorang ada akses kepada Canva, they can actually maksudnya contribute to the Canva punya slide. So macam yang ni, okay, setiap orang saya kata you will get one page. So for the ice breaking, masukkan gambar, you punya nama dan sebagainya. Okay, so yang ni maksudnya diorang buat sendiri ni. Tapi daripada satu account saja. Daripada satu account saja, daripada satu Canva slide saja. Okay, so kita compile semualah. Macam sebelum ni saya banyak guna Padlet kan, kita banyak guna Padlet kan. But this is another way lah, another way that we can actually buat ice breaking untuk kita student. And then at the end of the session, kita boleh share balik dengan semua orang. It's either you download sebagai video ataupun macam tadilah dalam bentuk website. Okay, ini contohlah. Selain daripada tu, boleh juga buat collaborative assignment. Okay, contohnya macam yang tadi saya tunjuk tu, diorang buat modul ataupun buat e-book ke. Macam sekarang kan ramai orang buat e-book kan. Okay, actually boleh buat secara collaboration juga. Maksudnya satu kumpulan tu, diorang just masuk sama-sama dalam Canva punya ni, file dia yang dia dah create and then contribute towards it. So that's how I did the collaborative learning lah, even though it's a remote learning. And then dekat sini sebagai pensyarah kita boleh actually bagi feedback lah. Kat sini ada ruangan untuk komen kan, untuk nak bagi komen dan sebagainya. Macam kalau Google Doc kan kita ada section untuk kita komen kan. Dalam ni pun ada section juga untuk komen.
Cuma nak tanya macam kita buat content, develop content. Canva ni macam content developmentnya apps kan?
Ya.
Kita kalau kita pinjam ataupun kita ambil picture from anywhere kan, from the web, masuk dalam kita punya slide sebenarnya pun, itu macam mana? Copyright tu dikira ke ataupun dia tak kisah?
Okay, that's another issues lah. That's another issue regarding copyright. So bila kita kata kita nak buat content and you want to claim it as yours, kan? You want to claim sebagai you punya, then we have to make sure that we are not taking other people's content lah. Okay, tapi kalau macam kita guna tools macam Canva ataupun editor yang lain, yang mana dia ada apa dia panggil library kan, photo library yang memang stock images dia tu yang free to use. Okay, kalau free to use kita boleh gunalah. Tapi kalau memang kita ambil yang orang punya, yang macam kita jumpa dalam Google ke kan, without checking on the copyright or the apa dia kata licensing of the content tu, yang kat situ kita kena be careful lah. Tapi kalau memang content tu content kita sendiri, macam contohlah kan dalam kita punya slide tu kita come up with our own framework ke, ataupun is an existing framework tapi mungkin kita kita lukis semula. Okay, so kita just buat rujukan. Maksudnya the framework is cited from siapa kan, daripada sumber mana. Tapi the illustration tu, yang tu kita punya lah. It's our illustration. So kita tak perlulah minta kebenaran the copyright image tu. So yang tu isu copyright ni dia complicated sikit. Tapi to be safe, always cite, ataupun kalau kita ambil daripada sumber yang lain, kita masukkanlah rujukan. Maksudnya is taken from where? Daripada mana? Kan? Kalau macam kita embed pun, kalau embed tu kita letaklah sumber dia daripada mana. Sebenarnya kalau embed tu dia boleh go directly to the link kan. So kita maksudnya yang tu kita share alike. Maksudnya dia just sharing. Sharing tak apalah. Tapi kita tak boleh claim lah the entire content tu as ours. So kalau kita nak minta IP, masalah tak boleh lah. IP maksudnya it must be yours. The content tu kita nak kena tengok lah. Tapi kalau setakat kita nak buat slide for class dan sebagainya, memang selalulah kita ambil daripada rujukan luar kan. So kita akan letaklah dia punya sumber. So we have to make sure that we put the source of the materials. Okay. So ada lagi tu yang
kalau certain app kan dia automatic detect kan kalau kita ambil gambar lain kita tak rujuk kan. Macam gambar ni dia detect tak? Ataupun dia leave it to the developer punya content?
So far dia tak detect macam tu lah, tapi kalau kita upload ke YouTube, YouTube channel dia agak
kan?
Especially if you use video content ataupun audio. Dekat YouTube dia senang dia akan detect.
Canva dia tak automatic alert
setakat ni Canva dia tak automatic detect.
Okay,
sebab dia macam kita buat sharing lah, macam is a presentation slide ataupun slide sharing tu dia tak detect. Tapi kalau contohlah kita create content tu dalam Canva, lepas tu kita masukkan audio tu audio yang copyright kan contohnya. Lepas tu kita pergi upload pula dekat YouTube. YouTube dia boleh detect. Kalau copyright audio materials dia boleh detect, ataupun video ke dia boleh detect.
Kita nak avoid any
Yes.
taman ke apa kan.
But I think untuk kalau macam kita just nak buat untuk kelas, maksudnya we link to specific website or YouTube contents, yang tu tak ada masalah lah. Tapi dia masalah bila kita upload semula. Contoh macam ni. Kita buat kelas, lepas tu kita record kelas kita. Dalam kelas tu, masa bagi lecture, kita pergi tayang video daripada YouTube. Dan YouTube tu is a copyright content. Lepas tu, kita buat recording kelas kita upload balik masuk video, masuk YouTube. Yang tu pun masalah. Nanti dia akan detect kat situ. Sebab tu selalunya kelas recording kita tak upload lah dalam YouTube. Dan kelas recording tu sepatutnya dia eksklusif to our students lah kan.
Takut our student pula yang ni kan pergi guna kita punya tu kan, kita punya out recording tu.
Itu kita
dia
boleh
berkait-kait kan, dia berkait-kait.
Itu kita boleh bagi awareness lah. Tapi maksudnya dalam kita punya tu bolehlah selalunya dekat slide tu kita buatlah siap-siap kat situ kan. Tapi kalau YouTube pun dia akan bagi suggestion, macam dia akan cut that entire section tu dulu. Kalau kita ataupun dia suruh kita ni lah.
Because bila kita link dengan e-portfolio kan, kadang-kadang e-portfolio kan kita terbuat public kan. Itu yang takut dia kait kan. Copyright tu kan. Kalau private tu tak apa kan. Kalau public maksudnya access public tu. Our link ni can be accessed by all kan. Kalau e-portfolio kan.
Ya, kalau kita set public, boleh access public lah. Yang tu dekat sini, okay. Macam yang ni sekarang. Okay. Untuk detail yang ni nanti kena masuk klinik ni lah, klinik e-portfolio. Saya tak go detail lah. Okay, dekat dashboard. Dekat dashboard ni, dekat share ni kan. Dekat share ni. Ni nampak tak dekat sini, kita boleh tengok access list ni. Kalau yang ni memang saya buat public dah ni. Teaching and Learning Philosophy dengan Zero Seat ni memang saya buat public sebab saya guna untuk training kan. So bila saya bagi slide tu, orang nak akses, dia boleh klik dan boleh dapatkan akses lah kepada page ni. Okay, kalau macam yang ni, saya share dengan UM staff sebab saya guna juga sebagai contoh kan. Otherwise kalau saya share yang link Genially tu, nanti you all klik, tak boleh masuk. Okay, so ini dia punya access list. Kat mana, pada siapa. Yang macam ni saya just bagi pada dekan dulu untuk verification kan. Ini contoh lah. Okay, so yang ni macam mana nak edit access list tu, just pergi dekat sini lah. Klik dekat sini, nanti dia ada kat bawah ni. Kita nak share dengan siapa. Macam ni kalau saya nak buat public, saya letak je lah public. Macam tu. Okay. So I hope that the sharing has shown or give some ideas lah on how we can actually improve our preparation of the teaching portfolio. Okay, so yang saya tunjuk tadi macam mana kita nak embed file lah daripada Canva, which I think is very quite interesting. Tak tahu lah, mungkin ada orang lain dia ada cara yang lebih kreatif, cara yang lebih interesting, so please do share, kan, sebab itulah kena share tu. So orang lain boleh dapat idea. Okay, ada apa-apa lagi ke yang nak saya tunjukkan on the e-portfolio part? Oh, before that, okay, I will give you the link to the Genially presentation. Sekejap saya letak dalam chat lah. Okay, so in the chat, yang ini adalah link kepada teaching portfolio slide tadi yang dalam Genially. Okay, it doesn't work. Sorry.
Dia tak boleh link.
Saya tak letak dia punya HTTPs tu. Okay, hopefully, silap lagi apa? Jap. Sorry. Oops. H tu tukar je. HTTPs bit.ly. Right? Why it doesn't work? Your screen sharing is paused. Jap. Ada tak? Sekejap, saya stop share dulu. Tiba-tiba dia macam ni.
Tekan link tu, dia tak keluar. Something wrong cakap.
Sekejap, bit.ly. Oh sorry, ada ETP. Okay, hope this one works. Okay, the last one.
Last one, okay.
Boleh?
Boleh.
Boleh Okay, so yang tu tadi, kejap. Okay, Okay, any other questions before we end the session? I think I've done covering the the workshop content for today's workshop. Okay, regarding the case narratives and evidences. Okay, and then I just give some walkthrough on the examples of teaching portfolio. Okay, the one that we created in ePortfolio. Okay. Okay, any other questions before we conclude the session? Ada nak share ke? Ada siapa nak share tak? Dia punya ePortfolio ke? Wah. Boleh je. Yang dalam Microsoft Word tu, you all nak tengok ke? Yang tu macam dah lama lah. Saya pun macam rasa nak jadi contoh tu boleh lah. Tapi maksudnya for the new one, if you want to create e-portfolio, teaching portfolio for the DTA, boleh improve lagi lah daripada sini. Sekejap saya tunjuk. Okay, so ini yang dalam saya create dululah masa saya submit for the DTA. So I create using Microsoft PowerPoint and then just convert into a PDF. Cumanya the requirement for DTA, we still need this version, this kind of e-portfolio. Yeah, we still need this kind of teaching portfolio book. Yeah, kita tak guna yang e-portfolio lagi. Okay, macam AAN pun dia masih minta yang macam ni. Okay, so this one on the teaching philosophy. Okay, itulah saya ni kat sini. This is where I start to put interactive element in the teaching portfolio. Okay, we have the QR code. Alright. Okay, sebab masa ni kita bagi submit printed version. The last time saya tak pasti printed lagi kan, Fadlina? Okay. So ini kalau yang printed version lah. Okay, but actually we can have the ideas, the contents.
Maksudnya Doktor, from e-portfolio tu, kita boleh convert macam ni ke? Ataupun yang ni lain dengan itu?
Actually yang ni lain, yang ni saya buat dalam Microsoft Word. Kalau yang daripada e-portfolio tadi, kalau kita convert macam tadi saya tunjuk lah, dia macam print save as PDF. So dia akan display macam mana yang ada dekat website. Cuma kita nak kena adjust setting dalam website lah. Maksudnya kita nak kena buat bagi kemas-kemas lah kalau kita nak terus print directly daripada situ. Okay. Otherwise, we can prepare using Microsoft Word ataupun Canva pun boleh. Canva pun sebenarnya boleh. Saya rasa yang tahun lepas ada a few participants, calon-calon DTA yang saya rasa dia create guna Canva. Dia punya teaching portfolio tu dia create guna Canva. Sebab dalam Canva kan nanti boleh convert kepada bentuk PDF kan. So daripada situ dia boleh masukkan gambar terus pun boleh juga. Dia tak kisahlah, maksudnya kita nak guna editor apa tak kisah. Cuma at the end of it, dia kena submit dalam bentuk booklet macam ni lah. Maksudnya dalam bentuk, kalau saya tak pasti UTLC masih minta yang hard copy ataupun tidak. Okay, but it still need to be in a written format macam ni. Okay, TP untuk DTA kali ini hantar yang PDF version. So kalau PDF version, mungkin boleh daripada e-portfolio directly lah. Saya tak pastilah. Cuma you nak kena susun lah, nak kena susun bagi nampak flow tu. Yes, okay, tak perlu hantar hard copy, tapi kita nak tengok dalam bentuk PDF. Okay, alright. Okay, so actually there are many ways. Saya pun plan untuk the next teaching portfolio, perhaps saya mungkin akan buat dalam Canva terus, sebab saya banyak bahan dah dalam Canva, so saya boleh masuk macam copy paste dalam tu, dan terus link kan, kalau kita nak buat link. In fact dalam Canva pun kita boleh buat QR code. Kalau macam dulu yang saya buat ni, okay, the QR code that I created, this one, I use like a QR code generator. It's another tools from the internet that we call this QR code generator. But if you design it in Canva, actually within the Canva itself, we can create a QR code directly. Okay, it's just that we put in the link or the URL. Okay. Okay, so this is just contoh lah. Okay, so this is the one that I show in the e-portfolio as well. So this one, to make it easier so that you can use it both at the e-portfolio as well as in the Microsoft Word, for example, create a photo collage or poster, like one page here, so that you can save it into JPEG or PNG file and then copy it here. Or if you want to upload into e-portfolio, this is just one image. That's what I mean just now. So rather than we upload one by one the pages, the images, we create one poster size, one poster or one, what we call it, picture collage ke, whatever. Okay, so when we upload, just one file. Okay, so we can use it in different platform. We can insert into Word file, we can upload into e-portfolio. Okay. Okay, so okay, this is another example that I showed just now. Okay, so this is like one file, one picture file. Okay, so if I want to upload this into e-portfolio, then it's just one file. Okay, okay, the same thing with this one. Okay, so this is for the what we call this. Ini lama dah lah, 2017 ni. 2017 punya cerita kan, masa tu we are not into online conferencing yet. Okay. Malu lah nak tunjuk ini sebenarnya. Not much actually, not much. Okay, and then creativity and innovation. This is like what I said. We talk about the creativity and innovation in a bigger picture first. Okay, if you apply project-based learning or whatsoever, you can talk about it, and then we go into a specific example. So, for example, when I talk about project-based learning, so I give one example on this particular course, how I conduct that. So we have the phases, week 1, what the students do, week 2 up to week 14 and so on. And then what are the data collection or analysis or reflections or whatever activities that we conduct with the students. Okay. And then these are the actually this is like SOTL. Okay, so we also conduct research. So but actually from the student reflection, we can actually get some testimonials as well. Okay. Okay, this is 2018 punya evidence lah. Dah agak ketinggalan zaman lah. Kalau sekarang ni kan 2022 ni macam dah banyak sangat, dah banyak lagi benda kita buat kan. So nak kena improve lagi lah. Okay, so this is just a walkthrough of the examples of the teaching portfolio that I created using Microsoft Word. Okay, ini testimonial tu lah. Macam dulu susah nak dapat testimonial ni, macam nak kena kutip-kutip. Sekarang I think it's very easy. Now we conduct almost everything using online technology. From the Mentimeter, we can also get feedback. From the Google form pun boleh dapat feedback. This one from the blog. Okay. Blog. Dulu saya guna blog juga. Ada blog. Okay. This one like during before COVID face to face. Now we still use Quizlet, quizzes. or Quizlet, but everything online. So I think I need to have like in my teaching portfolio, I will have like a chronology like before pandemic and after pandemic. Maybe something like that lah for the narratives. I don't know. Okay, so that's all the concluding statement. I go back to the philosophy.
I
Yes.
think overall purpose e-portfolio and everything is very good kan, to ensure quality education kan.
Yes.
Apa nama ni, cuma kadang-kadang kita ni all timers ni dia tak nampak adanya storyboard dia apa kesudahan ni kan. Dia punya tu kan. Jadi kalau nampak the whole picture tu, then we can see it's very good lah. It's very good for the quality education for UM kan, for student lah. So,
Yes, actually it's a platform for us to keep reflecting on what we are doing. Because when we have to, for example, when we have to prepare for the e-portfolio for each courses, right? So we have to put into thinking like, oh, what have I done this semester? Kan? Kita nak share ni, we want to share with others. So what have I done? So we will improve it for the next semester. Something like that lah.
yes, true. Macam muhasabah lah every semester.
Yes. Yeah, reflection is muhasabah.
Very good. Well done. Good job.
So,
Thank you very much.
I think stop sharing. I think we are almost time. Our session should end by 12:30. Okay, so just to conclude this session, yeah, I take a quote from Smith 2018 here that an e-portfolio actually makes lifelong learning real. Okay, so we have been talking about lifelong learning for ages, right? But now this is the real lifelong learning when we have to put our professional journey in the form of teaching portfolio or e-portfolio is actually part of our lifelong learning or our professional development. Okay, so it is for our own professional development or to improve our students' experience by collecting products or objects of learning for real life tasks and reflecting on this. So when we do the reflections, that's where we continue developing our professional trajectories of learning. Okay, and that's where we start developing our personal meanings towards what is good teaching and learning practice. Perhaps before this we never care of what is our conceptions of teaching and learning. We just teach, right? But after we are doing, we start crafting the teaching philosophy, we start thinking and reflecting on our own teaching practice. There, we start to develop our personal meanings of what is teaching and learning. Okay, so the reflective process tells stories. So this is where the professional storytelling that I said just now, and it should come up with the narratives way, and we provide with evidence. Okay, so it's a stories that tells experiences, and the portfolio is the book in which they are recorded. So we record our professional journey in our teaching portfolio. I hope that in the future perhaps boleh dibukukan lah kot teaching portfolio ni, kan? So at least we can get something from there as well. Okay. So I think that's all from me for today. Thank you so much for joining this session, and thank you so much for your participation and engagement in this session. I do hope that you will continue developing and improving your teaching portfolio. Okay, for the technical part, don't worry, just ask the UTLC technical team, and you can always refer to, I think there are so many recording on how to create the e-portfolio from the beginning, how to create pages, to create what we call it collections and so on. Okay, and then for today's workshop, it's more on the philosophy behind the teaching portfolio and why we need to develop teaching portfolio and how we can actually improve our teaching portfolio by adding evidences, yeah, and also putting our reflections in the narratives. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you so much. Saya pass balik kepada UTLC lah. Thank you.
Okey, terima kasih Dr. UTLC mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada Dr. Siti Nazwa dan terima kasih juga kepada semua peserta. Sebelum tu kita snap gambar, boleh on video semua tak?
Boleh. Boleh masuk portfolio ni, cewa. Sekejap mana tu? Oh, saya nampak muka Su je. Okey, saya kena tukar pada galeri. Okey. Hai, Datin. You have been attending my sessions. Last year pun attend. Thank you so much.
Okey, ready ya? Okey. Okey. Tunggu sekejap.
Ramai lagi tak turn on video.
Itulah.
Dah ke? Okey, so.
Dah ke semua? Okey ya? Okey, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okey, 1, 2, 3. Sekali lagi. Okey, baik. Terima kasih semua. Assalamualaikum.
Terima kasih.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih.